The Battle of Florida shifts from Tampa to Sunrise, where the Panthers are getting Aaron Ekblad back for the first time in the playoffs after he has finished his 20-game suspension. The well-rounded blueliner skated 23-30 per game in the regular season, where he has racked up 3 goals and 30 assists for 33 points and a plus 11 stat line. He and Gustav Forsling have been the shutdown pair for the Panthers as the top pairing on the team. Though one other defenseman has been beneficial in this postseason for Florida, Nate Schmidt, who has just become the second defenseman in NHL history to score game-winning goals in each of his team's first 2 playoff games in a single postseason. The other one to do it, Nicklas Lidström for the Detroit Red Wings in 2007. Florida's up 2-0 in the series, a dominating 6-2 win in Game 1, with 2 goals each from Schmidt and Matthew Tkachuk, who makes return to action after missing the remainder of the regular season to a groin injury to Four Nations faceoff, and a 2-0 shutout victory in Game 2, where Sergei Bobrovsky stopped all 19 bolt shots, and Schmidt's one-timer for the right point nearly 5 minutes into the game was the only shot that beat Andrei Vasilevsky. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. All eyes are going to be on Aleksander Barkov's status. He is a game-tying decision after getting knocked out Game 2 by way of a high and illegal hit from Brandon Hagel. Barkov did not control the puck at that time. Hagel was assessed a 5-minute penalty and is suspended for this game. That means the intensity and rivalry is going to be ramped up tremendously in a series where the Panthers are playing like the defending champions that they are. And the Lightning are looking to get back on track after 2 uncharacteristic games for a team with Stanley Cup aspirations. The Bolts are already struggling to score. They have only 2 goals, both coming in Game 1. After 2 games talking about how they need to win, it doesn't matter anymore. They just need to win. Find a way to get on the win column. Whether it be pretty or ugly, it will not be easy, regardless if Barkov is able to go or not. The Panthers are going to come up flying to take home ice in Ekblad's return. It's expected to be back on the top pair of Forsling. When the pair was deployed, Florida led 41-29 in goals. While he was suspended, Ekblad drew up his own drills based on what Forsling is doing in games. Tampa held Florida's forecheck much better in Game 2, able to spend a little more time in the offensive zone, but they weren't able to penetrate the low slot to really pressure Bobrovsky consistently, and that's what bit them in Game 2. We go to our lineups, where it all depends on Barkov's status. Tampa's the visitors this time around, but we go to Florida's starting lineups first because they are the team as the free seed, the lower seed team of the series. The 4 lines are going to depend whether or not Barkov is good to go. If Barkov doesn't go, the lines will look like this: Eetu Luostarinen, Anton Lundell, Sam Reinhart; Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, Mackie Samoskevich; Brad Marchand, Evan Rodriguez, Carter Verhaeghe; AJ Greer, Nico Sturm, Jesper Boqvist. If Barkov's good to go, expect him on the top line with Verhaeghe and Reinhart. Luostarinen and Lundell will go with Marchand on the 3rd line, Rodriguez on the 4th line, with Sturm and Boqvist. For the defense pairs, Forsling with Ekblad, Nate Schmidt with Seth Jones, and Nico Mikhailov, Dmitry Kulikov. Sergei Bobrovsky in net, he's been outstanding so far. And the defense in front of him is helping out too. Vitek Vanecek is the backup. For Tampa, their lineups are like this: Jake Gensel, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Nick Paul, Anthony Cirelli, Gage Gonzalez, Connor Geekie, Yanni Gord, Mitchell Chaffee, Zemgus Girgensons, Luke Glendening, and if they go with 12-4-7 defensemen, 12-4-6 defensemen, Cam Atkinson is the extra forward. If they go with 7 defensemen, Darren Radish is the extra defenseman. Defense pairings are the same: Victor Hedman with J.J. Moser, Ryan McDonough with Eric Chernak, Emil Lilleberg with Nick Perbix. Andrei Vasilevsky in net, Jonas Johansson is the backup. So looking at this game, we preview both teams. For Ekblad and the Panthers, after serving a 20-game suspension for violating the terms of the NHLPA Performance-Enhancing Substances Program, he finally makes his return to the lineup. It's a huge boost for them. Elite defensively, a key player on special teams for the defending champs. He's averaging more than 2 minutes on both the power play and penalty kill. 2 minutes and 41 seconds on the man advantage, 2 minutes 26 seconds on the PK. And he returns to a penalty kill that's doing exceptionally well in this series, having killed off 7 of 8 penalties and limiting the Bolts' high-powered man advantage units to just 6 shots on goal. but all the eyes will be on Barkov to see if he can play. The Panthers are optimistic that he'll be good to go, including head coach Paul Maurice, who said he had to take warm-ups. He has to get through it. We think he's good. But that last sentence is telling, because it will take a considerable injury to take him off the ice. This series is far from over, but the Panthers are showing their advantage in two-way forwards. Not only with Barkov, but also Sam Reinhart and Sam Bennett making their presence felt throughout the course of the series. Barkov and Reinhart are expected to be finalists for the Selke Trophy as two of the best defensive forwards in the NHL. And the team as a whole, they're putting up solid defensive numbers. 7th in the NHL in goals against per game. They forced the Lightning towards the outside and prevented them from getting any high danger chances, and have forced 20 missed shots. The Grays stopping shooting lanes and pressured the shoots into getting rid of the puck before they want to. For the Lightning, they've already lost the first 2 games of the series. Now they have to play this game without Brandon Hagel. He's suspended for this game, forced a illegal hit on Barkov, and also a tough blow. John Cooper notes the importance of taking a next man up approach. They have to find ways to fill in his role for this game, whether it be going for the 11 forward 7 defenseman approach or inserting Cam Atkinson into the lineup in a 4th line role. But the 11-7 approach might make more sense with the Bolts being down one of their top forwards, but also giving Cooper the chance to move Brayden Point and Nikita Kucherov up and down the line for some advantageous matchups. If the Bolts were to pull off this series comeback, they need these two to start scoring. 1 goal each between Point and Jake Guentzel isn't going to cut it. Not to mention Kucherov has been held without a goal in his last 12 playoff games. In that stretch, Tampa is 3-9. There are plenty of opportunities to the front to beat Bobrovsky, including 8 power plays in 2 games, but the Bolts were able to score just once with a man up. That's not good enough, especially for the best offensive team in the league in the regular season, where they average 3.56 goals per game. They've had their chance of prime scoring areas. They can't take advantage. Their top players are not finishing their shots. They're missing the net on several occasions. They're not forcing Sergei Bobrovsky to make a save, and there are no scrambles at the front of the net. This game isn't just next man up for them. It's all hands on deck for them. All men up for this game. So in the meantime, as we are waiting for the opening puck drop here, let's go over some of the storylines and the playoff brackets throughout this series. The St. Louis Blues, as I noted in my playoff recap videos, they cut their series to within 1 on the Winnipeg Jets with a statement 7-2 victory over the Jets. The Stars have led for just 62 seconds on the Avalanche. The Avalanche have led 90 minutes. Guess who's leading this series? And it's Dallas. And the Edmonton Oilers, they cut their series to within 1 on the Los Angeles Kings. A 7-4 victory in what was a track meet of sorts. After Jim Hiller challenged a goal from Evander Kane in which he believed there was goaltender interference, the goal was upheld. Initially, it was ruled no goal for a kicking motion, but Kane played it with his stick just before it crossed the goal line. Smart play for Kane for his first goal of the season, as he missed all of the regular season to several injuries. And Evan Bouchard scored on the ensuing power play for the game winner. Connor McDavid and Connor Brown added empty netters to make it a 7-4 final. It was back and forth between these. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Bouchard started the scoring. Bouchard scored twice, both on the power play. Adrian Kempe has 4 goals in this series. Kevin Fiala and Drew Doughty chimed back on the man advantage, and Trevor Moore at even strength. Brown has his first 2 goals of this series, too. The Toronto Maple Leafs can put away the Ottawa Senators tonight at 7 Eastern and advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals for just the second time in 3 years. It will be just their second playoff series win in the Matthews, Marner, and Nylander era. The Washington Capitals and Montreal Canadiens are in a huge grudge match, and the Canadiens get one back with a 6-3 victory. But bad news on the goaltender fronts, as both Logan Thompson and Sam Montembeault left Game 3 with injuries. They were replaced by Charlie Lindgren and Jakub Dobeš, respectively. Both making their Dobeš making his postseason debut. Lindgren played with the Capitals last year during their postseason run. 32 saves on 39 shots faced for the Big Cat. That's not good enough. He needs to be better. But so does the rest of the team around him, especially on finishing. Bobrovsky, 39 saves on 41 shots faced. Here at Amaranth Bank Arena, this is the venue in which the Panthers won the Stanley Cup last year when they defeated the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games after surrendering a 3-0 series lead. Here we go! Last year and this year, the Lightning trailed 2-0 against this very team in this in-state rivalry as Vasilevsky will play this one out for Ryan McDonough. And across for Eric Chernak, Gonsalves. Gonsalves is starting on this line up to the second line. 11 forwards, 7 defensemen, as I note about John Cooper going with that front. Darren Raddysh is the extra defenseman as Matthew Tkachuk was in the way. Up front, through the right side as it's chipped in. Raddysh, the extra defenseman, as the NHL on TNT is noting. Near corner, Qtrs wanted to set this one backwards. It's Verhaeghe. Barkov is in the lineup as is confirmed. He has just passed the warm-ups. That sends Marchand to the third line with Lidström and Lundell. Samoskevich to the fourth line with Sturm and Boqvist. On the way back, it is Reinhart who drops it for Barkov. Glove down by Hedman. Verhaeghe is on the top line too. On the near side, Gord wanted to play this one away, but Forsling is on the keep. Barkov at the far corner looks back. One-timer, and that was blocked in front. Loose. Hedman picks it up, and it goes to the near half boards. Just got it out. Connor Geekie was there, but it's taken away by Verhaeghe, and here's Barkov rolling back with it. Geekie forcing Barkov to the near corner, allowing Moser to pick this one up. Gave it away, but there was a poke in the way, and it's out through center. Florida's been all over this puck like they have been in the first 2 games. Not a lot of shots in game 2. In game 1, for that matter. Florida has fired just 38 shots on goal in this series through 2 games. That went off of Vasilevsky when Lundell forced it in deep. He's traveling through the far side. Whip around shot was stopped by Vasilevsky, or might have been blocked out a play off his own man, Lidström. And Nate Schmidt's out there on the ice. And Aaron Ekblad in his first game back from his suspension, serving 20 games. And Paul Maurice said that he is taking his own time to warm up in the time that he has missed. So Ekblad was out for 20 games for PED violations. But now he's back. He's been busy getting back on the grind. Sturm with Samoskevich and Boqvist. Won by the Bolts on the faceoff. Down the far side, there's a bump at center ice. It'll be scooped up by Schmidt. All of a sudden, he's turning to Nicklas Lidström. Offside are the Panthers. Someone was way across. It'll be Schmidt with Dmitry Kulikov. And Mikko with Seth Jones. They're keeping these two together. The same defensive pairs as in the 2 games previous. Maurice does not want to break up the Mikkola and Jones pairing as Ekblad's coming back onto the ice for the first time since before the 20-game suspension. Tops in franchise ranks by games, goals, assists, points among defensemen. Tie up on the draw, and it's won by the Lightning, but it's loose at the point where it's picked up by Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe rips it top of the right circle block, gets it back, another block. Qtrs clears this one out, and it went off the stick of Ekblad, who fires this one around. Towards the near half boards, as point was there, bounced up off of Qtrs, kept inside the left point, and around the horn for Hedman. Hedman wants to get it out, but a good keep by the Panthers. On the left circle, it is Reinhart. Want to center and cross, and in front. And it's stopped by Vasilevsky. First shot by Ekblad coming back. Welcome back, Aaron. How do you do from him as he made his return. And he looked the part of being solid here. Verhaeghe, Barkov, Reinhart. He jumps right into the hole. And it's a second line of Tkachuk, Bennett, and Rodriguez, who can play at all 4 lines. Vasilevsky will see this face-off towards his left, false start on Rodriguez, and Sam Bennett will take the draw. That'll get Tkachuk to the left side and Rodriguez to the right side as they all go a switcheroo. Lightning win the face-off, and he'll go for the far side as McDonough was forced around by Bennett. Chernak was bodied up by Rodriguez. This puck was pinballed all the way up, and Bennett will go around Chernak as he closes into the net. Nice move right in front, and they score! Florida opens the scoring again in this series. And who else? A terrific move by Sam Bennett on the way to the net as he faked out Ryan McDonagh, toe dragged around him, and Matthew Tkachuk gets a gimme. Right around that left side, Nick Paul got faked out, and Tkachuk taps it on the backhander. Right around one of the better defensive forwards on the Lightning, and Tkachuk wanting to defend this Stanley Cup for his guys. Third goal this postseason for him. Oh, Tkachuk, yeah, it is. Well, Tampa Bay is challenging for offside. John Cooper is looking at it. It was close. Well, they called this one off. There are some questions to be had. Cooper's looking at it to see. So they're looking at it. They are deciding not to challenge it. Is there goalie interference on the way? No. And no challenge. It is a 1-0 lead for the Panthers as they strike first for the first straight game. Cooper's not challenging, and from the far corner, it is sent down. Is this going to be enough for an icing? It will not make it there, as McDonagh, he looked back to the official to see if there was going to be an icing. Already, the Panthers are imposing their will. Chernak up the far side. Gensel gets forced off. Verhaeghe on the keep. For the far side, this gets batted down and kept in by Florida. To the near side, Kucherov. Kucherov gets boxed out by Verhaeghe, and Kucherov will spin him around. Nikita Kucherov goes back. Lundell is in pursuit of the puck. Up the far side, this gets knocked away by Marchand, but it's Kucherov walking in free on free. Around Lundell. In front, no deflection. The Panthers doing a good job boxing out the Lightning and forcing them to the outside. They're giving them no space and no time to get any lanes towards the front of the goal. Here they are again with the puck. On his knees is a takeaway by Mitchell Chaffee. Seth Jones is there. Chaffee trying to blow by, but can't do it. Still holds on to the puck. Looking towards the point, but decides to fire this on his own. Blocked. And this will go out to center. Recollected by Lundell, and it's fired in for the near side by Marchand. Vasilevsky. Tampa is 2-6 all time in the postseason when they throw a series 0-2. Dumped in by Anthony Cirelli. And Cirelli wanted to get up to make that hit. Schmidt gets boxed out, and this gets cleared out. Backhanded in deep. Cirelli. That almost was offside. He'll dump it in. And it's recollected by Kulikov. Dmitry Kulikov moves it up the near side. Boquist is boxed out. And it's back across. And racing for the puck is Gord, who'll slap this one around. Bobrovsky given chase to by Nick Paul. Good job by him of getting this out on top. Up the far side, Samoskevich sends this one in. Moser for Gord as he is being chased away. Gord moves it rink wide and then up for the left side for a point. Brayden Point walking in with this, drops it off. Here's Moser, fires it, and that is towards the end boards and out. They've been deflected out by Brayden Point. They are getting chances, but they're not finishing. The Bolts have not led at any point of this series. The Panthers have trailed. The Panthers have led for 105 minutes and 7 seconds, and both teams have been tied for 14:53. In the regular season, Tampa's at a +32 first period goal differential, the best in the NHL, but Florida's making this a different story. It is the Panthers who have a +3 goal differential in this series. Momentum can be changed in an instant. Kucherov's down to the ice right now. He has not scored in his last 12 playoff games. Position at the right hash of the left circle for this faceoff. It'll be Gensel taking it. Juan Queeley by the Panthers. 5:10 into the first period. The only goal from Matthew Tkachuk. The Panthers trying to add more here as they re-enter. Reinhart tried to center for Barkov, and down goes one to Lightning. Centering pass could not be corralled down, and Forsling blasts it, bounced off of Vasilevsky. Recollected by Florida as they want to get their advantages here. Left point Forsling. Here's Ekblad who fires this one up high behind Vasilevsky, and it's Verhaeghe resetting. Verhaeghe poked away by Gensel, but Barkov's able to keep. For the far side, whip around shot nearly was deflected. Gensel picks it up and delivers it across for McDonagh. Ryan McDonagh around for Nikita Kucherov as both teams make changes. The Panthers have the first 4 shots on goal in this game, In Game 3 of this best of 7 in the Battle of Florida, Tampa took the first 2 series against them, 6-4 games. Florida took the last meeting around 5 games, in which they won the first 3 games of that series last year. Tkachuk tried to center, but Geekie was there to cut off the pass. Off the end boards near side, Mikko had trouble keeping the puck. And the Lightning will recollect and move it down through center. Radish fires around. Geekie trying to cut off Jones, but can't. Near the Panther bench as both teams whack at the puck. And the Panthers pick it up. Walking to the left side is Mikkola, who fires this one around, and it'll be scooped up by Evan Rodriguez. Met at the left circle, and it's poked away. Up the near side, bounced up and collected by Geekie. He'll get it back. Near the Lightning bench and goes rink wide for Radish. Off the middle, this deflects onto Bobrovsky. He'll play this out to the far side. And a takeaway, as this was a howitzer that just missed Bobrovsky, not by much. Up for the near side is Nick Perbix. He'll drop it off for Gonsalves. Gonsalves, long shot was deflected wide. Jesper Boquist, he gets turned around at the boards as this puck pinballed towards the Panther zone. And down the ice, this is going to be icing. Just over 7 minutes gone. And that deflection was just the first shot on goal. And it's a frustrating series for the Lightning as Nikita Kucherov is getting closed off all around by the Panthers' best defenders. Especially on the forward side. Luostarinen, Barkov, Lundell, Reinhart. And even would it be 5-on-5 on the power play? He's getting frustrated. Matthew Tkachuk and Brad Marchand are doing an excellent job getting into his head. And the Panthers win another faceoff. They've been dominant at the faceoff circle throughout this series. Offside is Florida as this was dumped in inside the zone. Intended for Reinhart. Matthew Tkachuk with the first goal of this game. When we come back, the Panthers look to extend this from a 1-0 lead to possibly more while the Lightning try to tie it. I am Alec Nava. Stay tuned. Panthers lead 1-0. And while Brian Boucher and Kenny Albert are calling the game, Wayne Gretzky is joining along as a guest on the NHL on TNT. Well, opinions on him have been controversial now. One of the greatest players to ever do it. Off the faceoff is won by Point. Back to Chernak. Chernak fires this one. Bobrovsky made a stop. Reinhart collects it. He is pressured by Point. Lightning trying to take it away. This bounces to the far corner, and a steal here. They're in trouble, though, as Point wants to find Hedman. Blasts it, and Bobrovsky picks it up out of midair. 95 on the long blast. Averaging only 20 shots on goal in this series. But so far, when they get the looks, they're not getting a lot of them. But you have to play defense, and the Panthers are doing exactly that. They're defending well and forcing the Lightning to the outside and getting lower quality shots. Just the first shot on goal for the Bolts in what has been a low-event series. Defense has been the name of this series, and that plays right onto the Panthers' hands. Barkov, Verhaeghe, and Reinhart make their way to the bench. The Cirelli line is out there. Paul and Gonsalves, or rather Geeky. Cirelli wins it quickly, goes back onto the left point, and then across the point. Around the end, boys, it's bounced off the side of the cage, and this went up and over right onto the netting. Nobody ever saw that one coming, but it blasts out of play, so we'll do this all over again. Nikita Kucherov has been struggling throughout the playoffs, just one assist. That came in Game 1 when the Lightning scored their only 2 goals of this series. Even the great ones can be put in this situation. Not the ideal situation as Gensel is out there to take this faceoff. Another Panther faceoff win, but this bounced right onto Kucherov. And right in front, it was forced wide by Jones. Collected by Kucherov in front, and that was kicked out by Bobrovsky. Not out though as Hedman blasts this one inside, and it went over him. Reinhart picks it up, and for the far side could be a chance for Barkov, but had to fire it around Hedman. He's boxed out, and Point picks it up, but he's right there. Shot right in front. Nobody in the slot to pick up the rebound. Vasilevsky made the save, no more. Gensel tried to go around, but he's tied up by Forsling. Down he goes. And both teams battling for this loose puck. We stay 5-on-5. Lightning keep the puck inside. Barkov there to try to tie them up. Through the far half boards, down goes Glendening, and it's cleared out by the Panthers. Left point as is McDonough walking it back, and Chernak will look to send this one up. This deflects off a Panther, and out for Schmidt. Nate Schmidt sends it up onto the near half boards, too far, and the Bolts will restart. Right in front of Vasilevsky is McDonough. Walking up through the far side now, and then right in front, Glendening deflected that one, and now we have some pushing and shoving after the initial tight shot from Zemgus Girgensons. Mitchell Chaffee wanted a piece of some of the Panthers. Brad Marchand wanted to go at it. It looks weird seeing him in a Panther uniform. Great shift put together by the Bolts. One of the best looks that they've had. Smart play by Kucherov to send this to the net for Jake Gensel, but there was no deflection at the net front. Undersized guy, but he can go after pucks and pursue them. There was a penalty right after the play for a cross-check. And Girgensons and Marchand were bear-hugging one another. Fortunately for the Lightning, he did not lick anyone. Marchand is in the penalty box for cross-checking, and that's the only penalty. Now, there could have been several more here, because there were some other cross-checks that went uncalled. Power play is out there for the Bolts. They have scored just one power play goal. That's in Game 1, in which they have just 8 guys. Second-ranked penalty kill, the Panthers throughout this postseason. The Lightning 1-for-7 this series. But 1-for-8, I meant. Cleared out by the Panthers. And now they'll start things up. The Lightning, that is. Hedman will start it. He has Kucherov behind. And he'll drop it off for Point. Out there of Gensel. And Anthony Cirelli, who takes the place of Brandon Hagel. Gensel goes behind for Hedman. On the keep around, looking near side. The Panthers were over that. It's down the ice. These penalty killers have been stifling. They've been elite. They're not giving the Lightning any look. And Kucherov wanted to get a breakout, but it's kept away by Bobrovsky as the pass was too far. Point will go back. And Sam Reinhart aggressive on the forecheck, trying to take this away and forcing the Lightning to delay their entry even more. Hedman will start again, and here's another drop pass. Point. Entry feed for Cirelli, and Kucherov will swing one across for Gensel. Hedman around for the far corner as Point will dish it for Kucherov. Kucherov, another drop pass, and then one more. Left side, Point tried to fire a one-timer, but there was nothing there, and Seth Jones will get this one down. Wholesale changes for Florida as both second units come out. Paul, Gonsalves, Chaffee, Radish, comprised of the second unit and an offside here with 35. Qtrs still out there. As Jon Cooper's trusting him to be double shifted. Some of the looks that they've got were all poked away as there were no zone entries as the Panthers have completely boxed them out, giving them absolutely no looks at anything, not even sniffles towards the net. They felt the pressure, and one of the great examples of getting your aggressive penalty kill on through the ice. Fifth man in this unit is Connor Geekie, number 14 in white, as he is speeding down for the near side. Geekie, free Panthers all over it, but the Bolts keep it. Cross ice, Paul. Radish blasts it. Rebound, swing and a miss by Paul. And it goes back deep, intercepted, and it'll be cleared down by Jesper Boquist. 10 seconds left on the power play. There are, as I said, the Lightning have had their chances, but they have lacked finishing. For the far side, Gonzalez sends this inside. No shots on the man advantage, and here it's Marchand coming out of the box who finds Barkov. Barkov enters and drops it for Reinhart. Back to Barkov. Barkov cuts. Several sticks in the lane. Shot goes wide. Reinhart keeps it inside. Around the horn, the left side for Schmidt. Panned towards the wall by Gonzalez. Verhaeghe couldn't keep the zone. Playing against his former team. Was a member of the 2020 Cup winning team, though he was sparingly used that year on a fourth line role. Kulikov waits with it and then moves it up the near side. A poke, and the Lightning can't take it away. Here's a 2-on-2 of Bennett and Tkachuk, the former Flames teammates. Tkachuk, Rodriguez, washed by side, and this one-timer from the top of the right point was shut down by the Big Cat. It's still 1-0 Panthers, who have the 6-4 shot advantage. The Lightning had no shots on that power play. We'll be right back in a moment. Jon Cooper and the Lightning trailing them for the first straight game in this series. They have never led in this series. He has a 2-6 series record when trailing 2 games to 0 in a best-of-7 series. And when trailing 2 games to 0, among the series that he's faced, the most recent win is such, the 2022 Eastern Conference Final against the New York Rangers. Up down the lane, they have taken a shot away from the Lightning. It's 7-3 Panthers on the advantage. Backhanded by Nico Mikkola. And up the far side, Sam Reinhart was tied up, but takes it inside himself. Up the far side, Moser is watching. Rodriguez around the net, and Mikkola keeps it in behind the net. Rodriguez once again, taken up by Bennett. Up the right side, Tkachuk is back out there. Wrister, and that bounced right onto the glove hand of Vasilevsky, who holds onto it. It remains 1-0 Florida as it took a strange bounce. But the postseason can be known for strange bounces. So far, we've had no such strange bounces so far. AJ Greer was the one subbing out to get Barkov back onto the lineup. The Panthers played the remainder of Game 2, the remaining 10-11 without him. Vasilevsky is keeping afloat. Where's the rest of the team? For the far side, a swing and a miss by Paul and the Queers. The Panthers keep it. Up at the far side, Lilleberg cuts it off. Emil Lilleberg grabs a hold of it, but the Panthers are too much on that. Gore trying to clear it right in front. Radish also, and they managed to clear it. Chafee, both send this one down softly. Will this go for an icing? No, not enough. Gore's there. Oh, Chafee levels Kulikov right at the far corner. Lightning trying to pickpocket the Panthers. Radish is pickpocketing himself, one trying to dump it in. In pursuit, Schmidt and Gord. Yanni Gord, Dmitry Kulikov was there, and Schmidt will restart. Ato Lostarinen up the middle to the right side, and flipping it down the ice is Mackie Samoskevich. Lilleberg decks his man at the near corner. That's 2 hits on the same shift for 78 and White. Lilleberg cuts off Nico Sturm. With the far side intercepting is Ekblad. Up at the far half boards, and this came outside the zone and onto the benches. Panthers will have a face-off. Several Finns on this Panthers team. Lundell from Espoo. Barkov is from Tampere. Ato Lostarinen from Siilinjärvi, Finland. And Nico Mikkola from Kiminki. All representatives of the Four Nations face-off on the Panthers. Rink wide is the Lightning trying to counter here. Nottawater looks for them. Braden Point speeding up here down the near side. Point backhands one for Perbix. Oh, look at the near corner. Centers one up, and that bounced off a body. Panthers have a 3-on-2 developing here the other way. Bennett wants to center. Hedman cut off the pass at the right time. In front, Vasilevsky. Stood tall. Right on Sam Bennett. Right behind the goal line. Hedman cutting off all the passing lanes. But at the last moment, the Panthers squeak it out right in front. Good job by Hedman. But what a pass, right, for Brad Marchand. For an opportunity. Sam Bennett set that one up. Hedman made sure that was not Marchand, that's Verhaeghe. 6:23 to go here in this first period. Lundell is coming out for this faceoff. Tie up. Panthers grab a hold of it at the right point. Cirelli trying to block it. Comes back to the slot. Lundell picks it up. One-timers kicked up by Vasilevsky. Brad Marchand was there. Gonzalez moves it through. Coast to coast to Chernak. Intercepted, picked up by Marchand. Here comes the Rat on the backhand. And that flutter wide. Cirelli wants to clear and does. Race for the puck will be won by Gustav Forsling. Up the near side. And there were several sticks in that lane. Gage Gonzalez gets rocked. And up the near side is a 2-on-2. Here's Jake Gensel to the slot. Cutting inside. Gensel fires. Is kicked out by Bobrovsky. Big Bob stands tall, but the Lightning are able to hold it. Gensel in front. He's tied up. The Lightning tried to get their sticks onto the puck as Moser tried to set it to the far or left point. Pass Gonzalez, and the Lightning hold it down to near half boards. Gonzalez tied up, bounces right in front. All sorts of Panthers there. For the far side, Lundell takes it himself. Chips it around to the far half boards. Lundell gets tackled, and up the near corner, the Lightning want to clear and do. Carter Verhaeghe, the ex-Bolt, fires this inside and up and over. Verhaeghe behind the net for Moser. Forced to the far corner. Stick check by Point. And here's Hedman. Victor Hedman gets cut off. Barkov can't get his stick on the puck. Lightning clear. Reinhardt restarts with Jones and Mikkola. Four lines change for both sides. Lightning trying to get a takeaway. Mikkola started his career with the St. Louis Blues. Carved out a home here on the Florida Panthers. Up the near corner, the Lightning tried to get this one through, but it's a takeaway by Samoskevich. Cross-ice pass was missed by Sturm. Boquist gets leveled, and it goes back for the Boats. Up for grabs at the near half boards of Sturm. Wanted to get it, but it's back for the Boats. Chafee gets shut off, and Samoskevich both send this one down. Vasilevsky behind his crease. Nick Perbix with 4:17. 10-5, the shots in favor of the Panthers. Fans booing as they're getting impatient. The Lightning hanging on to it. Geeky couldn't pick it up. And now it's up. Offside. And that is on an entry by Gord. They get a chance to mention our officials in this game. But the heavy hitting continues. With the officials Wes McCauley, Furman South, Bevan Mills, and Devin Berg watching. We'll be right back in a moment. It's a party at Miami. The Panthers trying to complete Stanley Cup title defense. They're 2 wins in. Off this false start, Geeky swats in, though Panthers get it. Up the near side, it's Schmidt for Kulikov for the far side. This third pairing has been surprisingly good here in this series. Vasilevsky got himself into trouble, and now at the near side, this will be cleared down for the ice. It will be icing as Devin Berg puts his hand up with Tkachuk closing. Lightning cannot change. They're being heavily outshot 11-4 and getting dominated at even strength. One-timers towards the slot. The Panthers are getting open. Defensive structure has improved somewhat for the Lightning. So far, nothing here is Guentzel. Bobrovsky stay with him. Offered away with Gustav Forsling defending. Forced Guentzel towards the outside. Guentzel couldn't pick the top corner. It'll be Sam Bennett for this faceoff. Tie up, and it'll be grabbed by the Bolts. Here they come 3-on-2. Rodriguez is rushing back to counter, and here's a quick shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Held by Gord. At the near corner, swept away by Rodriguez. Tkachuk there to try to get this one out, and he does. Nate Schmidt ran into a wall. That wall's name is Nick Perbix. Geeky slaps this one around. The Panthers will pick this one up. Forsling for Schmidt. Schmidt couldn't get anything off of that. And it'll be Chernak saying this one around. There may be ice, yes. 3:13 to go as Geeky may have hit the crossbar. Ever so slightly. Just a little bit. Bobrovsky has been very good in this series. But that one right off the crossbar, the Lightning trying to finish their chances. Nothing's been going right there. Barkov for Reinhart. Here's Forsling who slaps this one around the end boards for Barkov. Up at the right side, Ekblad fires. Bounced up. Recollect at the far corner. The Bolts trying to reset. Qtrs backhands this one out. Will this go enough? No. Forsling gets the first one to the puck. And up the near side boards, Guentzel intercepts. Glove down by the Lightning. Walking around is Qtrs. Qtrs tears one up. Here's Guentzel. He scores! Shake and bake, Jake. It's a tie game. had several near misses in Game 2, including near the end of the game in which he swung and missed on a puck that was open, and he and Erik Cernak were both there. Qtrs makes several nifty moves around Aleksander Barkov, and so did Guentzel as he faked out both Barkov and Reichart, split the defense down for the middle, and gets the Lightning their first goal since Game 1. They've never led in this series. If they need a turnaround, they'll have to do it now. 2:42 to go. Guentzel from Qtrs. Up the near side. Chaffee. First one to it is Tampa. Chance to take the lead here as Cirelli keeps it. Radish. Right by Lidström. Chaffee there. But it's scooped up by the Panthers. They want to get this one down. Lundell up the middle. But all over it is Cirelli. Cirelli through the far side as this bounce onto the deep right point. Jones turned it over. Radish moves it up. And this takes a bounce. Mitchell Chaffee keeps the puck around. And through the far corner is delivered back for Paul. Had been missed the net, but Radish keeps it inside. Right behind to Gretzky's office, Lidström tied his man up. That allows Jones to pick up the puck, but he cops it up. Kept it at the point. Here's Radish. He'll look. Rink wide pass doesn't go. Marchand picks it up, trying to clear. For the far half boards, Mikkola is all tied up, and the Lightning keep it. Around to the near side where it's Radish. Radish back for Chaffee. Chaffee. He and Radish run into each other, and the Lightning lose the puck as a result. Guentzel back onto the ice, in the majority of the ice time. Brayden Point gets it down. Guentzel trying to cut his way around into the near corner. Jones wants to clear. Once again, the Lightning hold it at the near half boards. 1:23 remaining as there are fans banging the boards, wanting to speed up the action. You see the action getting sped up. Qtrs, he embedded again into a fisticuff action, and the officials blow it dead because there was no movement at the puck as it was tied up at no man's land. Moser wants to go at Jones. Oh, it's on Tampa, this penalty. It's going to be Nikita Kucherov. Will go out for roughing. Well, and he's displeased with Furman South. Scoring the following shift as Matthew Tkachuk gets an initial shove on Sam Bennett. Pointing at the offensive zone is Kucherov. Top line is going to come out, and there looks to be a penalty as he and Bennett got roughed up. Tough penalty to take because Tkachuk was right behind him at first. Of course, he's a pest. Looks like this next shift is going to be crucial for both sides. If the Panthers would score here in the remaining 2 minutes, they'll have carryover power play time to start the second period. Around the horn to the near corner where it's Barkov. Barkov sets up, hit the side of the net. Barkov keeps it around. He wants to go for Tkachuk, but is forced around by Cernak. Hedman picks it up. We're in the final minute of the first period. We'll have 43 seconds of carryover power play time for the Panthers if they don't score in this final minute. Cernak. Tkachuk was there. It's sent out to the slot. Glendening was all over it, and he sends this down to this. Oh my goodness, Bobrovsky almost mishandled the puck. An exhale here for Florida, as it almost was the first lead of the series for Tampa. Up the far side as the Panthers move this one around. Barkov tried to center, but it's moved down by the Bolts, and he'll get this one down. Right behind the net. 22 seconds. This time, no heart attack for Bobrovsky. The Panthers lead the way for the near side for Hagel. Both send this one around. This one out of play up onto the mesh. Jones, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, Bennett, and Marchand on the second power play unit. But how close this was to being the go-ahead goal for the Lightning. That was a knuckle puck that bounced off the skate of Bobrovsky. Oh, what a heart attack it was for him. 14.4 to go the first period. He left the middle of the net all open. Face-off outside the zone, won by the Lightning. So far in the series, the Panthers are 3 for 6. All those power play goals in Game 1, they did not score a power play goal in Game 2. The Lightning caught up all 3 penalties. And they'll have 43 seconds of carryover power play time to begin the second period. 1-1 after 1. Matthew Tkachuk and Jake Guentzel have lit the lamp for the Panthers and Lightning respectively. Coming up, it'll be the first intermission report where we go over the scoring of the last 2 games and around the NBA. Coming up in just a moment. I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned, everyone. After one, it's 1-1. Tampa needed something, and they needed it badly because they were limited to just 5 shots on goal in the first period. Outside a goal from Genso, that was not a good first period for the Panthers. They were outshot 12-5 in the frame. I'm Alec Nava as you go through the stat sheet. 18-14 the hits in favor of the Panthers. Faceoffs pretty even at 11 apiece. Now, how much of that is attributed to Anthony Cirelli at the faceoff dot? Because of how badly the Lightning are getting pounded at the faceoff circle. In terms of faceoffs, Cirelli has won 6 of 8. Everyone else gets 0 for free. Braden Point 1 for free. Luke Glendening 1 for free. Nick Paul's the only other one to have a positive faceoff win rate at 2 for 2. For the Panthers, their faceoff win rates are like this: Barkov 4 for 5. Sam Bennett 2 for 5. Anton Lundell is the only one with the losing edge, 1 for 5. Sam Reinhart 2 for 2. Evan Rodriguez 0 for 2. Nico Sturm 2 for 3. So in terms of the stat sheet around everything else, block shots are 6-6, takeaways 4-1 Lightning, but you cannot have 9 giveaways to 2 in the ratio if you're the Lightning. That's just not good, especially against a top-notch defense like the Panthers. But 9 giveaways in the first period, that's not going to bode well. Let's go over the score sheet, where it's Matthew Tkachuk from Sam Bennett and Evan Rodriguez to begin the game at the 2:43 mark. Now 2:45 left is Jake Gensel from Nikita Kucherov. They tied the game up at 1 apiece. Let's go over the score sheet over the last few games. I last broadcast an NHL game on April the 23rd, where the Los Angeles Kings took a 6-2 win in Game 2. Got a 6-2 win in Game 2 over the Edmonton Oilers. 2 goals from Adrian Kempe and 2 more free power play goals to them. Brett Clark, Andrei Kuzmenko, and Anze Kopitar. The other goals from Quinton Byfield. And the Kings, they shut down the Oilers at 5-on-5 in that game. The 1-2-2 neutral zone approach being a massive upgrade over the 1-3-1 neutral zone trap. The 1-3-1 is focused on stopping the middle, but it leaves speed rush attacks exposed. But it can expose the issues with it, that it can open up the area for speed-based attacks. The Oilers took advantage of that last year. The Kings moved to a 1-2-2 neutral zone approach, and it's paying off here. Darcy Kemper, 24 of 26 in that game. Then the April 24th games, it began with a 2-0 win for the Panthers over the Lightning. Sergei Bobrovsky stopped all 19 shots. Nate Schmidt, the only goal at 5-on-5, a one-timer from the right point that beats Vasilevsky. Sam Reinhart and Aleksander Barkov getting the assists off the set play on the faceoff. Cross-ice pass to Schmidt, and he finds the back of the net. No goals for the Lightning. Bobrovsky, 19 of 19. Andrei Vasilevsky, 20 of 21. And the only other goal from Sam Bennett. The Panthers doing a good job. The Lightning are not finishing their chances. The Toronto Maple Leafs on a 3-0 stranglehold in the Battle of Ontario, gunning for their first series sweep since the 2001 edition of the Battle of Ontario, in which the Leafs upset the Senators as the 7th seed in that Eastern Conference quarterfinal series. Matt Knies and Austin Matthews scored for the Leafs in regulation. Knies on the power play on a cross-ice pass in which he was actually looking to Matthews for a one-timer. It went off the skate of Shane Pinto and in the net. Qtrs scoring a 5-on-3 to begin the game. That was the first time the Sens have led this series. Their lead lasted for 6 minutes and 53 seconds before Knies tied it up. And Matthews got his first goal at the series on a no-look pass from Mitch Marner. Linus Ullmark didn't even see it. And Brady Tkachuk tied the game on a ripper from the top of the left circle that immediately fired on a 3-on-2 rush. Quadru and Tyler Clevin the assists. Then it's Simon Benoit who scores the overtime winner. 24 years ago was Corey Cross, the 6th defenseman on the Leafs, who scored the overtime winner on the Senators in Game 3 early in the overtime period. Benoit is as a 6th defenseman on the team who scores the overtime winner early in overtime. Similar pattern to Game 2. Sens tie the game late in regulation. Leafs win it early in overtime. And Benoit and Cross, both stay-at-home defensemen on the bottom pair. They find ways to be heroes in overtime in the playoffs for the Leafs. Off the face-off win from Matthews, Benoit rips a one-timer with Knies and Matthews blocking Ullmark's vision. And the game is over at that point. What a goal it is for him. as Leaf fans are pointing out the similarities between him and Cross. Anthony Stolarz, 18-20. Latest Allmark is 17-20. Both teams fired 20 times at the net. The Minnesota Wild up 2-1 in their series on the Vegas Golden Knights, with Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Bodie each having 4 goals in the series. Philip Gustafsson stopped 30 of 32. Trying to carry on this farewell season for Marc-Andre Fleury. Kaprizov scored both his goals on the power play. The second one where he beat the buzzer, deflecting a Ryan Hartman shot. Marco Rossi off the takeaway from Justin Brazeau on a tic-tac-toe passing play. Brazeau to Jakub Trenin to Rossi at the net front in the first period. Alex Pietrangelo and Riley Smith the only goals for Vegas before Marcus Foligno sealed it up with an empty net goal. A 5-2 win, and Minnesota is sending reminders to the rest of the NHL why they were one of the best teams early in the year. But is this lead sustainable, or is this familiar territory? They were up 2-1 against St. Louis and Dallas in their 2 most recent playoff appearances, both first-round exits. And this time around, they're up 2-1. The Wild have only won once in their franchise history when they have a series lead. Game 6 of the 2015 Western Conference semifinals against the St. Louis Blues. They have won several playoff series before, but very rarely have they won a playoff game when they have a series lead. They won a series against the Colorado Avalanche, but they trailed for the majority of the series and did not lead the series at any point. They won in 7 games, with the home team winning the first 6 games of that series, before the Wild, the visitors in that series, won Game 7 on the road on an overtime winner, a 2-1 from Nino Niederreiter. The Wild, they came back from 2 separate 3-1 series deficits in their miracle 2003 run to the Western Conference Final. One of them was against the Vancouver Canucks, before they got swept by the 7th-seeded Anaheim Ducks, then known as the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And the St. Louis Blues put on a pounding on the Winnipeg Jets 7-2 in Game 3 of that series. Connor Hellebuyck's concerns about not showing up at the playoffs once again reinvigorated. Pavel Buchnevich, who had 1 goal in 22 playoff games before this series, scored his first career playoff hat trick. A power play goal and 2 even strength goals, including one where Hellebuyck was way out of the net, Robert Thomas taking it away from him, and if you're a goaltender, tender goal! Cam Fowler finished that game with a 5-point night, a goal and 4 assists. Thomas added 4 assists in that game. Hellebuyck was chased out of the net after the midway point of the third period, replaced by Eric Comrie. He gave up 6 goals. Comrie gave up 1 on the power play to Colton Parayko. What a game it was for the Blues, who can play Gloria at Enterprise Center. And yesterday's games, the Montreal Canadiens and Washington Capitals were an injury-riddled bout. A 6-3 victory. Cole Caulfield, Alex Carrier, Nick Suzuki, Christian Dvorak, Juraj Slafkovsky, and Alex Newhook all netting goals for Les Canadiens. And Newhook and Suzuki chimed in on the power play for a 6-3 victory. Washington getting goals from Connor McMichael, Jacob Chikrin, and Alex Ovechkin. They tried to chime back at it, but it was not enough. Both goaltenders were injured in this game. Logan Thompson left the game with an injury, gave up 5 goals, exited after the Slafkovsky goal. He's missing time of a lower body injury. Did not practice in today's optional skate. For Bailey Johnson of the Washington Post, Charlie Lindgren replaced him. Allowed 1 goal on 5 shots. Sam Montembeault left earlier in this game. He is day-to-day, will be monitored for tomorrow's game. He left the game, allowing 2 goals, was injured, stopped 11-13 before exiting with an injury. Jakub Dobeš replaced him midway through the game. 7 of 8. And the rookie out of the Ohio State University is showing himself in solid playoff action. When we come back, it'll be the second period where the Panthers will start on the power play with 43 seconds. I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned. About to begin the second period. One more before we get underway here. A double overtime winner for the New Jersey Devils last night. Shimon Nemec with the winner. Yeah. The Panthers on the power play to begin period number 2. We have 43 seconds of carryover power play time. We're in the start of the second period. On their way here as they fire this one around for the bar boards. And Sam Reinhart gets this one up and it's behind Vasilevsky. The Lightning play this one up. 2-on-2 out into the zone. Anthony Cirelli, Jake Guentzel, stoppage here. But it was offside. With 12 seconds left on the power play. 32 seconds into the period. In game 1. Ryan McDonough typically goes inside to try to cut any passing lanes, but not that time around. It was Anthony Cirelli tried to jump the route. Lightning tried to take their first lead this series. Tkachuk, Bennett, Rodriguez, Jones, and Mikkola out there. It gave normal 5-on-5 lines for the Panthers in anticipation of this penalty being killed. Tkachuk tried to take it away. Chernak fires his one down deep. And this will be iced, but the penalty is over. And that's actually gloved down by Bobrovsky. The penalty is over. 12-6. The Panthers leading the shot on goals total. For the Lightning, game 3 is going to be vital to if they're going to come back with this. Kucherov, Hedman had some good looks, and we had the Jake Guentzel chance. He was forced wide by Gustav Forsling, but the best opportunity was the goal. And Nikita Kucherov moving around Aleksander Barkov, and here's another shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. That took just several seconds. Jake Guentzel with the only goal. A huge kill for the Lightning as they have killed off their last 4 penalties. Average just 1 goal per game. Dead last in the playoffs after averaging 3.56 goals per game in the regular season. Tops in the league. They're having trouble against this Panthers defense. And of course, scoring is hard to come by in the postseason. But you'd expect more from this Lightning group. Barkov is on the ice to take the faceoff against Point. And Point wins it. Grabbed by Nick Perbix, he fires that one high. Hedman keeps the zone on the left point. Walking around is Guentzel, drops it for Hedman. Hedman, long shot, bounced up. Stayed in the ice. Radish and Kucherov going after the puck. This slides onto the right point where Hedman is at. Around the horn, this bounce onto Bobrovsky. And a minute 10 into the second period, another stoppage. So this gives us the opportunity about going over about the Devils Hurricanes double overtime win. Nico Hischier and Dawson Mercer get the first 2 goals for New Jersey. 16-11 in the first. Hischier from Timo Meier and Andre Palat. Mercer from Jesper Bratt, 118 in the third period. The Canes power play scored twice. Seth Jarvis from Sebastian Aho and Shane Gostisbehere. Aho from Andrei Svechnikov to tie this up at the third period. The Hurricanes have won just 1 game in playoff overtime games going past the first overtime. And that losing skid continues. After winning 7 straight playoff overtime games, they've lost 6 straight. Perbix tied up at the far corner. A shove by Glendening on Lundell. Wolsterine is going after. He's shoved by Chafee. Chafee takes it away. Backhands it out to the right side for Perbix. And this one deflects onto the far corner off Chafee. Wolsterine can't get it out. Now at the far half boards. The boat's still going after the puck. Gergenson's also on it. Sent onto the right point. Perbix just held the zone. Lightning will try to keep it as Moser blows right by, and Gergensons will hold it. Chopped around, and the Panthers try to counter on the rush at the near side of Lundell. Fired this one off Vasilevsky. Marchand is out there as he moves around. Marchand puts one on Vasilevsky. Jones to keep. Mikkola across him. Left point. Trying to find a lane. Backhanded around. Went off a stick of a boat. That was Gergensons there, and it's flipped down the distance. The Lightning will go for a change. Gergensons, end of his shift. Trying to get off the ice as Sam Bennett will take it up. Waits at the red line. And moves it up. His speed. And for the left side, Lusterino gets tied up. Bennett there. And a tie-up on Mikkola. As he'll flip it down, delayed offside. Tkachuk re-entering. Trying to take the puck away from the Lightning. Connor Geekie down the far side. Geekie moves inside. Geekie into the zone. Here's Lilleberg closing. Trying to wrap it around. In front. This would be. And past Geekie's legs. No shot of the play. As Geekie was in the right place but couldn't get his stick down. A gut punch here as this bounced up off for Qtrs. Right across for Cernak, who waits. Around Reinhart. Dispossessed. Forsling is bumped off the puck. Some loose sticks on the ice. Player lost the stick, picks it back up as it was not broken. Cernak finds Point, who was forced backwards by Bennett. Braden Point going rink wide to the right point. And now he gets it back. Point enters with Genso on the drop pass. Genso trying to stutter step. Genso blocked in front. And it's just held inside by Darren Radish. But the only one there at the far corner is Forsling. Down the distance, the Lightning trying to establish momentum here. Up the far side, this bounced up. Just 3 shots on goal in the second period, all of them by the Lightning. Up the near side, this is taken up, and Perbix will let this one go. Marchand pursuing the puck, and this gets a bump. Verhaeghe tried to set up in front, intercepted by Gord. And Barkov wanted to take it away. No, that's Lindell. Lindell backhander, and that missed Marchand. Nate Schmidt all the way back to retrieve it. And up the far side, it is Schmidt. Up the near side, Victor Hedman receiving the pass from Andrei Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky play this one out. Schmidt up onto the far side of the ice. Move for Brad Marchand, who was offside. A few moments ago, it was Emil Lilleberg who tried to get this one out in front. Couldn't wrap it around, and Geekie missed the puck. Couldn't get the puck off his skate to center it. He had an open look. Would have been a glorious opportunity to take their first lead this game. Connor Geekie out there on the ice after the offside on Florida as Nico Sturm to take the faceoff. Just outside the zone. And a tie-up, it will be grabbed by Cirelli. Vasilevsky over Lilleberg, and up for the far side. Just gets touched up, collected by Jones. Moved up the near side for Samoskevich. Down for Sturm. Nico Sturm moves around JJ Moser, deflected. Boquist takes a hit, and it was deflected out of play. Nico Sturm on the left side to take this face-off. One-on-one with Luke Glendening as both teams battle for this. In the Battle of Florida, the Panthers have the advantage in recent meetings. The Lightning early. 2 cups to 1. The advantage for the Lightning as this gets dumped in. Onto the near corner. Glendening gets shoved. Cirelli collects it. Nobody at the near half boards. Gonzalez was late to it. Picked up by Moser. On the near side, to Lilleberg. Emil Lilleberg moving down the near side. And around through the boards. This gets moved up. And chasing after as a mishandle from the Panthers. Gonzalez gives it up for Jones. As nobody on the Lightning was on the offensive zone. Panthers restart. Up the far side. Trying to drive behind the net. They're forced to the near corner. Verhaeghe wanted Barkov. Hedman was in the way. Behind the net now. Darren Radish moves it up the near side. Gonzalez all tied up with Ekblad. Another whistle for an offside. 5:21 in. So, Sam Reinhart on a microphone. One of the best defensive forwards and one of the best offensive forwards in the league. Having himself the season of his life and showing that he is worth every penny of his new contract. It is a team-friendly deal. One of the best teams in the NHL. Perhaps still the best team in the NHL. So to this day, Reinhart a vocal leader. 1 assist, 1 shot, a +2 rating, a hit, and 2 blocks. Glove down by Marchand as he is moving up with Eetu Luostarinen. Marchand looks, Luostarinen tipped! And Vasilevsky made the stop, make sure that this did not go through. For the far side, Gensel from point. For the far side, delivers it over to the trailer McDonough. And now back to the play, Cernak loads up. It's bounced in front, loose in the crease. And a wacky at it, but Bobrovsky holds firm. Late shove by Marchand after the matter of fact. There's Gensel after the whistle trying to avoid all of that. Off the rush with Brad Marchand moving up the far side. Eetu Luostarinen got the redirection right in front as he was cutting in inside the slot, splitting the defense between McDonough and Cernak. Bounced off of Vasilevsky's pads. More importantly, sent this to his side. Brad Marchand gets pats to the back. That series between the Lightning and the Rangers 2 years ago in the Eastern Conference Final was the most recent time in which Cooper won a series after trailing 2-0. Face-off is won by the Panthers. They'll go right back with this with Kulikov. Gord still in pursuit. Bounced on the right point. The Panthers get it out. They'll have no rush. And up the far boards, Bobrovsky plays it for Kulikov. Gord in the way to cut that off. Tight shot was sent wide, and here is Paul. Keeping it at the far half boards. Moving down inside. Kulikov. Still Gord is going after it. He's been everywhere on the ice here in the second period. Relentless motor on this third line. Matthew Tkachuk picks it up to start off this rush. One boat is back. This is dumped down the far side by Nate Schmidt. Perbix plays it behind Vasilevsky. And Gord felt the presence of Bennett. Boquist takes it away. Has Perbix on him. Jesper Boquist, one-timer. Unable to get anything of that one. And through the far side to be picked up once again by Mikkola. Jones turns around and sends this one off the stanchion and right to Vasilevsky, who'll cover up and so have a stoppage here. 6:48 gone in the second period. The puck was sent in from the red line. And it looks like we're not going to break. Players are wondering about what is happening here. Might be by inches. Well, we'll be right back. So after an awkward sequence, whether or not we were getting a commercial stoppage or not, because they were determining whether or not they were ruling this an icing or if it was a stoppage by Andrei Vasilevsky, they have decided that this was a stoppage by Vasilevsky by inches and not icing. Oh, they're having some fun at the locker room nonetheless. Like, looking to play some pranks on one another. And they're photoshopping Vasilevsky, or to make it look like he is video bombing everything, and a black cat walking across the video across. Oh, this Lightning social media team does love to have fun. Or was it the NHL and TNT social media team having fun? Who knows? Jones throws one towards the net, and that is stopped by Vasilevsky. 4-team shot at this game for Florida. And in between, as we go over to the other game for last night's result, a track meet between the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. You don't get that in the playoffs a lot, but this game exemplified the definition of track meet. High-scoring affair between an all-offense, ask-questions-later team and a gritty defensive team that prioritized as such in the offseason. Tkachuk wanted to go after Hedman out the faceoff. Turns out he had to move away from him. So both start. So Sam Bennett will have to take this draw. Evan Rodriguez will set up for a one-timer off the faceoff. It'll be Nick Paul to take it. Paul wins it cleanly. Cirelli backhands it to the far side. Rodriguez trying to keep. And through the far side. Onto the corner. It is delivered around. Jones on the keep. Cirelli there. Jones poked to the side. And it will be collected by Gage Gonsalves. Turned over at the zone. Back inside the left circle. Centering pass. It was broken up by Cirelli. And the Lightning almost got a 2-on-1 rush. Now it's a 3-on-2 rush. Hedman. Paul. Swing and a miss. Nick Paul sends it to the far side. For the Lightning, keep it in the zone. Around the far corner. Looking to buy some space and time. It's Nick Paul. Paul. Closed off by Bennett. Cirelli keeping this one as it's loose at the right circle. Collected by Jones. Seth Jones gets it out of the zone. Here's a 1-on-1 the other way. Evan Rodriguez waits for help. Close stop and will go to Bennett. Victor Hedman forcing him to the outside. And this went around. Aaron Ekblad just kept it alive. Reinhart is the only Panther in the zone. Hedman moves it to Cirelli. And Cirelli glides this one. Where Ekblad keeps his one around the horn. For Reinhart, point to point. To travel around the boards. Shot right in front, didn't make it all the way through. It goes back for Reinhart. To Ekblad, closing in, firing. And Vasilevsky shut it down, saying no to a goal in his return. And one of the Panthers gets shoved inside the net. Aaron Ekblad shoves Cirelli inside the net. It's a cross check. A killer for the Lightning. Considering that Cirelli is one of their best defensive-minded forwards, and they just lost Brandon Hagel for this game because he was suspended for his illegal hit to Aleksander Barkov last game. And where Ekblad goes, he fires this one, and Cirelli just shoves him inside the net. Totally uncalled for. I guess the Battle of Florida, but you must keep your cool. And that was the essence of not keeping your cool and not what to do. Cirelli is in the box for 2 minutes. The Lightning win the opening draw. Cleared down for the near side. As the Panthers will reset their own zone, Seth Jones is the power play quarterback. Tkachuk, Reinhart, Barkov, and Samoskevich are the forwards. This will be dropped off behind as Samoskevich is in the top power play unit. Sam Reinhart around for the near boards. Bennett on the second unit. Collected up by the Panthers as they look coast to coast. Samoskevich waits and delivered down low for Tkachuk. Closing in. Cross-ice pass missed. Samoskevich picks it up and around the horn this goes. And it bounced right onto Vasilevsky. Might have bounced off the end boards and right onto him. That puck got eyes. We're 8 minutes and 46 seconds into the second period. And although Tkachuk wanted to open space up, he wanted to shoot this, but I think all he found was the left post. He was setting up in front. Aleksander Barkov wanted to set things up too. Face-off win by Barkov as Tkachuk gets it down low for Reinhart. Reinhart wanted to get this one back. Sure, not getting the way. Backhanded. And just cleared out by the skin of their teeth. As Jones tried to dive to keep it. But Bobrovsky sending it back over to Seth Jones. His father, Popeye Jones, an assistant coach on the Denver Nuggets. In the NBA, Reinhart going for Samoskevich. That pass was cut off, and the Lightning will have numbers on the way back. On the way back, 2-on-1, shorthanded. Nick Post has things up, firing, and that one off of Bobrovsky. The Panthers go back here with Sam Miskevich waiting a 3-on-2. Gensel's coming back. On the left circle, Carlin drag around, down low, inside. Vasilevsky holds the fort with 10:25 to go in the second period. Short-handed, there was a missed opportunity. Down low, it went right off the stick. Might have went off of Jake Guentzel. And that was Guentzel who was on the other way as Paul tried to feed him. That's the second time Guentzel missed a grade A scoring chance in this series. No rebound, and it stays a 1-1 tie here, nearing the midway mark of the second period. Face-off is won by the Bolts, and Victor Hedman will send this up the near side. Cleared it down, Bobrovsky plays it out for Nate Schmidt. No Aaron Ekblad on the second unit. Paul Maurice wanted to get Schmidt onto the second power play. He's being rewarded for a stellar play in the first 2 games of the series. 3 goals through 2 games, and Mikkola, or was it Verhaeghe? Yes, it was Rodriguez, actually. Schmidt walking the point off for Brad Marchand. Down low, bounced off of Vasilevsky on a soft shot. Back to the point is Schmidt, who will find Marchand again. Marchand on the hold of the puck through the backhander. Penalty expires, and try to sweep it on the backhand. It's early, coming out of the box. Schmidt cancels this one out. Sent up the far boards as the Lightning cleared this one. It was deflected out. So no delay of game penalty. And 9:36 remains. Well, we are tied at 1 apiece. Jake Guentzel almost had to go ahead, go short-handed. We'll be right back. That's still the score here. The only goals coming in the first period. Matthew Tkachuk opened the scoring. Jake Guentzel tied it up. Paul Maurice is 5-0 when leading 2-0, 2-0 in a playoff series. That's during his tenure with the Florida Panthers. Eastern Conference semifinals, Eastern Conference finals in 2023, Eastern Conference quarterfinals, Eastern Conference quarterfinals, Eastern Conference quarterfinals, Stanley Cup final in 2024. Bounced up and is collected by Perbix. Nick Perbix weaving his way up for the middle and firing this one down. Not a lot of oomph on that dumping. Cirelli chasing after Jones. Jones got it away in time for Mikkola. And clears glove down. And that's going to be a penalty on the Panthers. Both teams collide with each other as one of the boats got struck down near the right point. And pushing and shoving as Nikita Kucherov was on his knees, seeing his teammates stand up for him. Perbix and Jones on a shoving match as Wes McCauley and Furman South are there to break it up. Several boats were in there to defend the hit against Nikita Kucherov. It looks like Samoskevich is going to the box. Fans don't like it, but that is the correct call because Samoskevich sidestepped right into Kucherov and swept him off his feet. That is leg-on-leg collision. He leads with his knee. So the question is it tripping or is it kneeing? Kucherov seems to be okay. Don't see if there's more than just a check. And here's the official call from Furman South. They have ruled it tripping, not kneeing. But the fact of the matter is that Kucherov got swept off his legs. It could have easily been either tripping or kneeing. The Lightning power play, 149 in this series. Their only power play goal came in Game 1. They have scored just 3 goals in this entire series. No shots in the last 8:48 went on a man advantage. Hedman delivers for Gensel. For Kucherov, back to Gensel. They need to start shooting at the net and not let this Panther power play get the best of them. There's one. It was a long one from Victor Hedman. No deflection, but Bobrovsky catches it. Lightning tried to go for their first lead this series. The first 2 games were 6-2 and 2-0 wins by the Panthers at Amalie Arena. We're at Amerant Bank Arena. Amalie Arena at Tampa in Central Florida. All it takes is a drive down the I-75 to get there. From the right face-off dot, it is Braden Point to take it. It is won by the Panthers, or the Lightning rather. Jake Gensel fires one, and Bobrovsky gets another one. No deflection in front. Do remember, net front battles are important. And screens in front are important in the playoffs. That's what won the Leafs Game 2 against the Ottawa Senators when Simon Benoit set up a screen to help Max Domi deliver the overtime winner at the 3:09 mark of the first OT. Tie up off the draw, the Lightning come away with this. Looking at the near corner's point. He sets up from Gretzky's office. And this will be cleared down off a stick. Hedman will reset, trying to deliver it back down. The Lightning will reset. Hedman walks this one along the left point. For Cirelli, there was a stick in the way, and the Panthers get it down. 40 seconds deep. Not a lot of looks here for Tampa on this man advantage. Sent up through the near side. Here's Kucherov, rink wide pass, bounced off a skate. As at the far corner where Gage Gonsalves is there. Gensel keeps it alive for Point, and as Hedman walks with this. Kucherov mishandled the puck, trying to keep this one alive. It's still in the zone. Recollected at the right side boards by Point. Hedman finds Gensel to Kucherov, drops it out for Hedman, one-timer. Bobrovsky got a piece. At the far side, Hedman unable to keep his own. And oh my goodness, it was up high. Jake Gensel was trying to go for it. Did he slide on his own? Is the question. 8 minutes to go. No penalty arm is in the air. And Gensel is trying to plead his case. The Omaha, Nebraska native, not sure if he got a high stick, but there was a stick on his hand. He's trying to plead his case. By law, that may be a high stick, but they didn't see that. Maybe just 2 minutes if that was such a case, because no blood. The Lightning control another face-up onto the far side. And now the near side as they look to move this one through. Gonsalves, Paul there at the near corner. Lundell trying to take it for the Panthers. And Florida trying to get it out, but all they can manage to do is the left point. Radish keeps it alive. One-timer was fanned on, and it's delivered over to the far corner. Now back all the way. Geeky Radish fires a blazer, 90 miles an hour. Out inside, this just missed this man. Geeky on the keep. Mitchell Chafield's there. This bounced up and is carried out to center. The Lightning able to prevent a shorthanded break. Nick Paul through the far side. Look to set up in front. Gonsalves, his shot was blocked. Power play is over. Paul keeps his one in the zone. Radish blasts it. and it was deflected away from Bobrovsky. 92 miles an hour to shot. Here's Ryan McDonagh again. Broken stick on the ice, and that shot was blocked. Gonzalez swung and missed on the pass. At the near corner, here is Geeky. Cross-ice pass! Oh my goodness, was that ever so close? The Panthers clear it out. McDonagh fighting Paul as he sets up for the far side for Gonzalez. Return feed Paul, 2-1. They score! Nick Paul delivers the Lightning their first win of the series. Only 2 shot attempts for the Lightning on that power play, and they came from the point. But this takes a bounce off the skate of Bobrovsky and in the net. That changed direction right off of the skate. Sometimes you have to be lucky rather than good sometimes. And that time, Paul caught a lucky break. A 2-on-1 setup as Aaron Ekblad gets caught on an island, being the only defender back. Bobrovsky was caught alone in his position, and the Lightning get their first lead this series. They lead 2-1 here at enemy territory in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. Sunrise just a few miles away from Fort Lauderdale. And for the far boards, moved up for the far side of the ice near the Panther bench, there was a tie-up. And it's going to be collected by Jake Guentzel as he walks back with his puck. Guentzel drops back. Here's Qtrs. Sets up for a one-timer. Blocked. Point keeps it in. Point on the hole at the bottom of the left circle. It's still forced back at Gretzky's office. Spins and gets back to the right point. Here's Guentzel at the left. Pass is broken up, but it falls onto the left corner. Or the far corner. That's the right corner, that is. Guentzel goes for a turn. And the Panthers pick it up as they move this one down for the ice. Sam Reinhart walks in with the puck. Will drop it off, and that was fired wide by Tkachuk. Moved around, Verhaeghe was in the way of Moser. Over the back for a one-timer, Vasilevsky. Made sure there was nothing for Tkachuk, and Sam Bennett's in a wrestling match with Eric Chernak. Officials separate the two of them, but in the Battle of Florida, things can get testy. 1913, the Panthers lead in shots on goal. The Lightning lead where it matters. 2-1 with Nick Paul getting the go-ahead goal. Now on the play-by-play, we will return. Nick Paul in slow-mo as he beats out Aaron Ekblad before Ekblad could even block the shot. He got a piece of it. The shot changed direction as he shot it, but it bounced off the skate of Bobrovsky and in the net. For the far side, Paul from Gonzalez and McDonagh officially. Up the far side, The Lightning get bumped off the puck, and the Panthers move it up for the far side as they send it in. Vasilevsky plays it out, almost ran himself into trouble with Tkachuk. Held inside by Nate Schmidt, going down low in a setup pass for Bennett. Didn't go. Here's a one-timer that was blocked. Tkachuk is there, but gets boxed out. Kulikov fires one. That was blocked away onto the near corner. Tie up at the near half boards. Rodriguez there. Bennett also. Gonzalez. And the boats clear it out. Nate Schmidt will be the first one back. 5 minutes to go in the second period. Lightning lead 2-1. Do we see another Panther comeback as they come back into the zone? On the left side, out of right, Verhaeghe was denied by Vasilevsky. Or excuse me, Marchand was denied by Vasilevsky. Victor Hedman gets shoved by Brad Marchand. Nick Paul holds his own. Paul weaves through several defenders. And now he's speeding down the left side. Chips and chases onto the near corner. Absorbs a Seth Jones hit. Paul wants to deliver down low to Gord and does. On the right point, walking is Perbix, who finds Paul again. He and Perbix trade places, and up the far corner. This could not be centered down. The Panthers will go on a rush back through the left side where both their attackers are. They just fired this one around the boards. Can't get that one. And down the near side is Gord for Nick Paul. Paul. Shot was blocked and directed over to the near corner. Gord going after it. And so were the Panthers. Cleared down. Sam Reinhart there. Aleksander Barkov too. From the near side, Bennett was... Reinhart in front! Ekblad wanted to get his first goal back in a while. And now Reinhart re-enters. Sam Reinhart. Cross-ice pass. Verhaeghe was tied up. Eric Chernak there to shut that one down. And up the far side, Mitchell Chaffee was shoved at the Lightning bench by Gustav Forsling. 3-on-2 for the Panthers. Here is Sam Reinhart who centers up. Pass was blocked up by Ryan McDonough. On the opposite side, Jake Gensel clears this one down. Chaffee is shoved again. Off the middle is Braden Point. 1-on-1 as he goes back. Point to the slot. 3 Panthers were there, including Aleksander Barkov. Through the far side, this gets collected up by McDonough, who sends this one down. First one there is Forsling at the far side of the boards. Battle at the far corner as Kulikov and Forsling were both there. Barkov and Gensel. Bounced off Verhaeghe. Collected by McDonough. Deep shot. Rebound in front. Bobrovsky denies that. 2:55 left. And some more shots on goal for the Lightning. 2-1. They lead. We've had some excellent games so far in the postseason. And this looks to be no different. The Battle of Florida being a low-scoring, grueling match. A chess match on who's going to win. In terms of teams that come back from 2-0 series deficits, last year the Dallas Stars were able to do that. Good redirect in front by Jake Gensel. Try to have that puck change direction. 9-9 the shots on goal in the second period. Hedman's tied up by Sam Miskevich. University of Michigan alum. And through the far corners is Chaffee, who is tied up. Chaffee forced to the far corner by Kulikov. This comes out for Bobrovsky and was poked away by Geekie. His brother Morgan plays for the Boston Bruins. And up the middle, this is Mackie Samoskevich, who uses the near boards to send this one in. Darren Radish cuts it off. His brother Taylor, a member of the Washington Capitals. Rink wide from Hedman, and moving up through the middle is Darren Radish as the Panthers come back. 1-on-1. Partial break here for Matthew Tkachuk. 4 boats get back. He's waiting for reinforcements. He waited a little too long there, but Jones was able to hold. Sam Bennett behind the net. Mako a blast one. Blocked. And it'll be recollected of Rodriguez firing. Turned away by Vasilevsky. Tkachuk again. Fired wide. And Jones moved it around. Bennett couldn't get his stick on the puck. Mako able to hold it at the left point. For Tkachuk, and now Rodriguez on the touch pass. Rodriguez in front, Bennett! And Vasilevsky started down, wrap around attempt, loose in the slot, cleared out but not out. Mikwa, one-timer Rodriguez. Vasilevsky turned that one away. Here's Tkachuk, elevator, Vasilevsky again, and pushing and shoving afterwards. Everything is happening here in the Battle of Florida. We got some wrestling matches all over the ice. Tkachuk and Darren Radish tying up one another here at this sequence. We'll have to see what Wes McCauley and Furman South have to say at the end of this. And Tkachuk is not done yet. He wants all the smoke. He wants to go after Victor Hedman. And now they're all over each other. And it's about to get much uglier now. Tkachuk's without his helmet. And we may be knowing for sure that there's going to be a roughing penalty. And down goes Connor Geekie. Seth Jones is not done with yet. Bennett wants to go. Punch is delivered. But nobody has dropped the gloves. Chafee is right there. It's going to be very interesting. As Bevan Mills is separating everyone. I believe we are getting for sure a roughing penalty against Tampa because someone may have removed the helmet of Tkachuk. And I know for sure Tkachuk's going to go to the box. Tkachuk's escorted there now. Let's see what comes out of this. As Vasilevsky made 4 saves in that sequence. First one a pad stop, and another wraparound from Sam Bennett was turned away. One time from Rodriguez was blocked. That was 3 saves because another one was Sam Bennett. Yeah, he did shove Victor Hedman at first. Tkachuk's getting 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. So he picks up the extra minor penalty. I believe Darren Radish, does he get one for removing Tkachuk's helmet? That is considered a roughing penalty in NHL. Of course, it's Battle of Florida because you know for a fact that this is going to have all hell break loose. If I had a nickel for every time someone was shoved towards the nets, I'd add 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it goes to speak how intense this rivalry is. So the later games include Vegas and Minnesota, Toronto and Ottawa, Dallas and Colorado. I'll be with you here for the remainder of this game. Tomorrow I'll be calling Game 4 between the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. That series has gotten a lot more interesting because the Blues made a statement in Game 3. Face-off is won by Nico Sturm. Lightning on the power play. Up at the near side, the Panthers trying to clear it down. They can't backhand it out. Gensel flips it over far corner. Held inside is his Hedman. Deep shot. Rebound in front. Points there. Bobrovsky stands tall. Evan Rodriguez 2 for roughing. Cirelli gets it backwards to Hedman. They all set up. Nobody able to enter zone. The Panthers were all over on neutral ice. Brayden Point to Jake Gensel in the final minute of the second period. Cross ice pass. One-timer is gobbled up by Bobrovsky. The Lightning 0 for 1 the power play. Nikita Kucherov trying to break a goalless drought that spanned 12 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Lightning have lost 9 of 12 in that same span. Good job by Hedman to get this one across to Kucherov, who was open at the top of the right circle. Kucherov on the right side is Brayden Point is going to take the faceoff for the Lightning. Cirelli's there as well. Want to have Point there for the tip. Panthers get another. Backhanded by Mikkola. And the Panthers will get this one down. Darren Radish on the ice here. 43 seconds left in the second period. Nick Paul with the game-breaking goal for Tampa. Up the middle. This is sent out to the near side. Cirelli to Point. Now back for Cirelli. Cirelli goes back for Radish. And then at the top of the right circle, collected by Kucherov. Jake Gensel moves around with this. Sets up back for Radish. Here's Cirelli. Back through Darren Radish. Nikita Kucherov can't get his stick on the puck through this pass. Panthers trying to clear, but Cirelli's able to hold it. Back for Radish. Slapper went wide. Kucherov panning at the far corner. Mako is there. Jake Gensel stepped up onto right behind the net as this is sent right out in front. And it's collected the far corner. That pass is blocked off by Aleksander Barkov, and that'll end the second period. The Lightning will have 24 seconds of carryover power play time. We're not done yet. We're not done yet here. More pushing and shoving after the final whistle. At the end of the second period. And it turns out these two teams don't want them to go to the dressing room. Mikkola, Cirelli, Reinhart in the middle of it. And a minor penalty for Anthony Cirelli. That's going to end the power play. There'll be 24 seconds of 4-on-4 when we begin the third period, followed by a 1 minute 36 second period of a Panther power play. Fans booing the Lightning as they head to the tunnel. So as we go up front, it is a 2-1 Lightning lead. When we come back, it'll be the second intermission report. Alec Nava here with you. Return in just a moment. It's 2-1 after 2. The Tampa Bay Lightning lead 2-1 despite getting outshot 25-16. It's spicy here. All the scuffles are amping up. And the belief is that there'll be 4-on-4 when we come back for the third period, and the Panthers have a chance to tie the game on the power play for 1 minute and 36 seconds because we'll have 24 seconds of 4-on-4. Hits are 33-22, Florida. Face-offs 26-20, Tampa. I am Alec Nava. Welcome aboard to the second intermission report. Scoring summary. Matthew Tkachuk from Sam Bennett, Evan Rodriguez. At 2:43 at the first period, Jake Guentzel from Nikita Kucherov. With 2:45 left in the first. At 13:17 in the second, Nick Paul from Gage Gonzalez and Ryan McDonough to make it a 2-1 lead. Sergei Bobrovsky, 14 of 16. Andrei Vasilevsky being Andrei Vasilevsky again. 24-25 through 2 periods. He's had himself masterclass games before. And he's keeping the Lightning in this one. Showing the goaltender that he can and be. How elite he can be in the playoffs. Penalty minutes are even up at 8. Block shots 13-2. Slide edge to the Bolts. Takeaways 5 free Bolts. And the giveaways 12-9 Bolts. So they cleaned up their game in that first period. And made sure they don't cough up the puck as often. And they're forcing giveaways on the Panthers. After having 2 giveaways in the first, the Panthers had 7 in the second. So you go around the score sheet. As I mentioned earlier, Game 3 between the Oilers and Kings was a track meet. The Oilers exploding for 7 goals in that series, in that game. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins opening his scoring. Evan Bouchard scored twice on the power play. Adrian Kempe, Kevin Fiala, and Drew Doughty answered back. The latter 2 on the man advantage. Connor Brown tied it up. And Trevor Moore got the Kings to lead 9 seconds later. And that span between Doughty, Brown, and Moore. That's 3 goals in 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Brown and Moore 9 seconds apart. Evander Kane and Evan Bouchard scoring twice in a span of 10 seconds. Kane from Connor McDavid and Jake Wallman on a puck that was in the net after Kane kicked it towards his stick, played it there. It was ruled a goal. Kings tried to challenge for goaltender interference, lost the challenge, go down a man. Bouchard makes them pay on the power play. On a nice setup from Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid and Connor Brown sealed the deal on the empty net. To seal this one up with a 7-4 victory for the Edmonton Oilers to get back into their series, the defending Western Conference champion. In the same span about the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors, they won 109-94 last time round. Let's go over the 2 games afterwards. The New York Knicks survived a grueling match against the Detroit Pistons, 118-116. In the first game of Little Caesars Arena in 6 years, 4 of the 5 starters had at least 20 points. Karl-Anthony Towns with 31 points, added 8 rebounds on 10 of 18 shooting. Jalen Brunson, 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. Named Clutch Player of the Year. And Mikal Bridges, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. An all-around ace. Another all-around ace, even though he didn't fill up the score sheet. Josh Hart, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals. OG Anunoby with 22 points on 7 of 17 shooting. Brunson fished 9-20. Towns, 4 of 8 from 3. Brunson made up for the lack of 3-point shooting with points inside the paint and layups. And for the Pistons, despite the loss, all-around gritty effort. Kay Cunningham and Tim Hardaway Jr. each with 24 points. Cunningham with 11 assists. Hardaway 7 of 13 shooting, making every one of his shots on the field from beyond 3. Jalen Durham with 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. 4 steals for Cade and 2 blocks as well. 7 rebounds. But that 10-25 mark needs to improve. Duran 7 of 10. And off the bench, Dan Schroeder with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on 6 of 9 shooting. Malik Beasley 12 points, but needs to improve at an inefficient 4-14 shooting mark. The Oklahoma City Thunder were trailing by 29 points in Game 3 of their series. They came back to win. The deficit was as large as 69-40 with the Grizzlies leading. And they came all the way back John Morant was injured in this game, played 16 minutes and did not return. But there is no excuse for the loss of momentum for Memphis. He had 15 points before he exited the game due to injury. Scottie Pippen Jr. with 28 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Jaren Jackson Jr. 22 points, 7 rebounds. And 10 for Desmond Bane with 8 rebounds, 4 assists. 14 points off the bench for Santiago Dama with 6 rebounds. Zach Edey, oh my goodness. Despite the 9-point stat line, that blunder late in the game for Edey was not a good one. For OKC, powering away Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 31 points, 8 assists. Chet Holmgren with 24 points, 8 rebounds. Jalen Williams with 26 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Alex Caruso and Isaiah Joe both had 10 points off the bench, 23 and 15 minutes respectively. They came all the way back to steal this victory. And the Los Angeles Clippers stifled the Denver Nuggets at the Intuit Dome in that venue's first ever playoff game. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray each had 23 points. Jokic with 13 rebounds and 13 assists. Aaron Gordon 15 points, 7 rebounds. And that was all the Nuggets really had. Only 6 bench points for them. For LA, 4 players offered the starting 5 with at least 19 points. Kawhi Leonard with 21. 11 rebounds and 6 assists to go with that. 7 of 17. And James Harden, 6 of 14. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. Norman Powell with 20 points. 3 assists on 7 of 12 shooting. And Ivica Zubac on 19 points, 8 of 12, 9 rebounds. And defensively, they were stifling. It might not show on the stat sheet, but they hustled to everything. Okay, 4 steals in the game. 1 each from Norman Powell, Derrick Jones Jr., Ben Simmons, and a garbage time steal from Jordan Miller. 8 blocks, 1 from Simmons, 2 from Jones, 3 from Nick Batum, 1 each from Zubac and Chris Dunn. It's been a key piece on both ends of the floor for the Clippers. Yesterday's games saw the Orlando Magic survive a grueling match with the Boston Celtics 95-93. 80s basketball, here we come. Jason Tatum to start the show for Boston, 36 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Jaylen Brown, a down game with 19 points, 6 rebounds. And Derek White, 16 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 rebounds. Orlando was Franz Wagner with 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. Paolo Banchero with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. And Wendell Carter Jr. with 10 points, 12 rebounds for Orlando to lead the way. Anthony Black with 9 points the other way. And the Milwaukee Bucks get back in the series with a 117-101 victory in Game 3. The 5th seed in the East gets one back. Going out of a 28-point effort from Pascal Siakam, 12 of 19 shooting. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Tyrese Halliburton with 10 assists, 14 points, 7 rebounds. The assists are where he shines the best. 18 points for Aaron Nesmith, the former Celtic. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. And for Milwaukee, 37 points each from Giannis Antetokounmpo and Gary Trent Jr. Trent was inserted into the starting 5 after coming off the bench. And Giannis with 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Trent, 11-16 for the field. Giannis, 14-19. And Trent is 9 of 12 from free to add on to that. What's showing there? Damian Lillard with 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And the Los Angeles Lakers and Minnesota Timberwolves in a tight series. Minnesota up 2-1 in what is a very tight series. 116-104 to victory. As LeBron James carried the way for the Lakers, 38 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. 13-21 shooting. Luka Doncic held to 17 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. And for Minnesota, 30 from Jaden McDaniels, 5 rebounds. Julius Randle with 22, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And Anthony Edwards, 29 points, 12 of 26, and no free throws for him. 8 rebounds and 8 assists in the victory. Excellent job by the T-Wolves. When we come back, it'll be the third period between the Panthers and the Lightning. I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned, everyone. So we're back here. It was a little late to get back onto the action. And for the far side, the Lightning come back with this. A shot went off of Bobrovsky. It's 2-1 Lightning. And a score! Jake Guentzel again! As Bobrovsky lost his stick. It's 3-1. A huge goal for them because they were going to go on the penalty kill. As this went off of Aaron Ekblad, Guentzel picks it up and shovels this right back. Guentzel was positioning at the front. Nikita Qtrs picks it up, backhands it, makes a perfectly timed pass to Guentzel, who roofs this one. Bobrovsky's without his stick. It was bouncing as Aaron Ekblad knocked Bobrovsky's stick loose. Went over the shoulder. Oh my goodness. It's a 2-goal game now. And now the power play starts. The Lightning get this one down the ice. The Panthers come away with this. Barkov enters. Aleksander Barkov inside the zone. For Matthew Tkachuk. Panthers top power play unit. Verhaeghe Jones. For the right circle. Centered up front. Wide of Tkachuk. This bounces up in front. Loose puck is swept away. A shot is stopped by Vasilevsky. Still loose in the front. Is swept over to the far side. And cleared. Seth Jones went down in the midst of the scuffle. Remember, the Lightning had their power play end because of the Anthony Cirelli penalty. And Cirelli is still waiting at the box. Past the halfway mark of the power play, on what it would normally be, and now at the far side is Matthew Tkachuk. Well, waits for this. Luke Glendening watching him. Almost ran out of time as Jones to Verhaeghe. Carter Verhaeghe closes down. He'll drop again for Seth Jones. The former Chicago Blackhawk. Verhaeghe fires, it's wide. Bounces up, and here's a potential 2-on-2. The Lightning will instead dump this one down, and both teams will make their changes. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Jones will start up as he waits. Anton Lundell is with him. Moves it up to him. Lundell on the near side. Sends it around the end boards. Vasilevsky and a pickle. By play to Lundell. Bounces out in front. Whacked at it and missed. 10 seconds on the power play. Almost was if you're a goaltender 10 to goal. On the left side, player is down. Penalty against the Panthers. A tripping penalty will end the Panther power play 4 seconds prematurely. Wes McCauley makes the call. Angel Lostorina will head to the box. Known for his electric penalty calls. One will be dying for a 5-minute major for 5 minutes each for fighting in call for Wes McCauley. The power play started at the 2-minute marker exact as there was a trip right in front on Eric Chernak. Angel Lostorina brings him down, and Chernak, he's all right. The Lightning will get their power play unit set up. Gensel, Point, Kucherov, Hedman out there in anticipation of the power play beginning. They're expecting Surrey to come out the box. It'll be grabbed by Jesper Boqvist to start off. Lightning on the power play. Boqvist through the far side. Boqvist elevators one over Vasilevsky's head. Mikkola runs into one of the boats, and it'll be brought back by the Lightning. Here is Braden Point as he moves up for the middle. Point down the near side of the ice. Will deliver it on for Gensel. Jake Gensel couldn't hold his own on this intended pass for Hedman. All sorts of Panthers over him. Brought back by Kucherov, trying to break an end to his goalless drought. Puck deflected out of play onto the mesh. 125 on the Lightning power play. So this is where the Lightning would have started had it not been for the Cirelli penalty at the end of the second period. This Gensel was setting up at the slot to set things up. Aaron Ekblad accidentally jostles Bobrovsky off his stick. Gensel almost got tied up at the left side. He allows Gensel to elevate that puck. And for the near half boards, it's moved around by Kucherov. The Panthers take it up. Lundell trying to move it one-on-one. Kucherov back all the way to back check. Lundell off the side of the post. The outside the post, that is. And the Lightning will take this one up through the far side. Leading the way as they bring this one backwards. Slowly and calmly make it away for the right side as Gensel will feed it back for Kucherov. Now it's Hedman one more time. Looking to go up front. Nobody at the point as this was poked away. The Panthers once again clear it down. Victor Hedman will control this one on his own. Hedman, another drop as it's taken up for the far side, now the middle. Fired around for the far side of the end boards, and Geeky in pursuit of the puck. It'll be grabbed by Tampa Bay. Radish to the left. Quick ripper was set wide and up high. Florida clears again. Paul, Geeky, Gonzalez, Chafee, and Radish on the second unit. Darren Radish takes it up for the far side of the ice. Sam Reinhart in his face. Will drop this one back over to Paul, who waits and fires around for the far side. Geeky closing in. Geeky arrives on the rush with 5. Paul behind the net. Gonzalez pokes it free. Darren Radish walks the point. Power play is over, but on that for a scramble gets swept away. Off the end boards, Chafee couldn't keep. The Panthers trying to reset with the puck. And for the far side, Gonzalez knocks this deep. Florida resetting again. Gustav Forsling walks on his own zone. Carter Verhaeghe drops this one back. And again, it's a return feed. Verhaeghe around for the far side of the ice, beating out Ryan McDonough. It's behind the net. Over to Eric Chernak off the takeaway. Chernak, this bounced off of Gord, who keeps with this puck. And for the far side, Hagel, or Gergensen, I meant, because Hagel suspended, gets tied up. Seth Jones around the end boards to Nico Mikkola. These two have formed an excellent second pairing of each other. Sam Bennett around Braden Boise walks in. Nice poke by the Lightning to clear that one out. And the Panthers will restart. The Lightning make changes. And Florida will move it up the near side of the boards. Losterinen delivers one to the far side as Mikkola gets tied up by Point. Wafted out through center and brought on back by Kucherov. He tried to return it for Point, but gets cut off. Dmitry Kulikov moving back the near side. Around the end boards, will be picked up by Nick Paul, but swept away by J.J. Moser. Nikita Kucherov helps out the Lightning at center ice. Brought back in, here's Nick Paul cutting to the net. Backhander. Turned away by Bobrovsky, but the puck is still free. For the far side, it gets cleared all the way out to center ice. Walking back is Nick Perbix. Perbix around Gustav Forsling, who shoves him towards the near corner. The Lightning tried to go back with this, but it's chopped away at. Paul keeps it inside. Geeky moves around. Backhands one around for the end boards, and the Lightning want to reset. Geeky, Radish, bouncing puck. Had a skate. There was a broken stick. That was Nick Paul's stick. That was broken. And he dropped his glove as well. Florida goes back with this puck, moving free on free. Offside. Ends up pushing a shove between Boquist and Radish after the matter of fact, as Paul went for a new stick. It looks like another power play is coming here. Chance to cut this to within one. Holding penalty on the Lightning. Nick Paul picks up a new stick. He grabbed hold of Gustav Forsling's stick. And we'll come back here with the Panthers on the power play again. Six shots on goal for Jake Guentzel as he's having himself a monster game. Loose out in front, right on the power play as the Lightning try to get that swing and a miss by Glendening on the clear. Second effort is good. Fourth power play for the Panthers here. We're already back with you. 2 minutes for holding. Nick Paul almost was a takeaway from this Lightning PK. They've been shutting out the Panther power play in game 2, killing up all 3 penalties. Verhaeghe gets turned around. Loose right out in front, but this does not go anywhere. Verhaeghe delivers it back over to Seth Jones. Now back for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe down low for Evan Rodriguez. These two play some more catch. And again, once again, Barkov Verhaeghe. Can't finish there. One-timer by Jones was faked. As Jones does a half spin and delivers back to Verhaeghe. Seth Jones walking to left point one more time. Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk, top of the right circle, blocked by McDonough. Sam Reinhart keeps his one alive. He wants to go for Tkachuk, who keeps a hold of it. Tkachuk in front, Barkov! Vasilevsky shut it down, but the Panthers keeps it alive on the power play. Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart back to Seth Jones. Verhaeghe, Kerwin drag, and around, this one off a stick. Tkachuk keeps this one alive here, and through the far corners, Reinhart. Behind the net, Tkachuk. Well, plays it out for Barkov. Jones tees one up, blocked in front, it comes back to him. Lets one go, and this one wide again. Seth Jones to Verhaeghe, and now Barkov. Towards the right circle, Jones fakes the one-timer as Girgensons went down. Now lofts one, loose right in front of the Lightning, get it out. Luke Glendening gets the job done, the former Red Wing. One shot has got it right onto Andrei Vasilevsky. Up the left side, this bounced off. No, it did not bounce off anyone, it's icing. And that may be the dagger that ends this Florida power play in 6 seconds. Sam Bennett wanted to plead his case. He wanted to go down low. The Lightning doing a good job of boxing that out. John Cooper talked about adjustments. They're talking about a zone play. And on the right side of the ice, as Matthew Tkachuk gets forced wide by Ryan McDonough. Barkov gets positioned, though, as he beats out Eric Chernak. 5 seconds on the power play. And it looks like it's going to run out, which it will. Nick Paul back on the ice as this gets flipped by Bennett onto Vasilevsky. Swept away into the near corners. Brad Marchand kept it alive. Up at the far side, Florida around for the zone. For the right circle, one-timer option was closed off. The intended man was Evan Rodriguez. And here's a 3-on-2. One of the Panther defenders trying to get back. Cirelli, rink wide, bounces up, and could not be settled down. And another rink wide pass didn't miss by much, though. Hedman, taken away by Evan Rodriguez. The pass was blocked off, and the Panthers will reset. Nate Schmidt around Nick Paul. Schmidt carries this one across. He'll go for a change. Vasilevsky out of his crease. Losterinen approaching. Gage Gonzalez. This bounces up and is corralled down by the Panthers, but slowly it was aimlessly going towards Vasilevsky and more pushing and shoving. Sam Miskevich, who is seeing his first taste of playoff action, it's pushing and shoving his way. A tough game one for Vasilevsky. Game two, he kept the Lightning in this, but here, it's his coming out party here in the 2025 playoffs. Stopped 29 of 30, including some grade A chances, a deflection in front, and some net front battles by Mackie Samoskevich. A read in front by Brad Marchand. Aleksander Barkov in the net. All been denied by the Big Cat. Sam Bennett himself was turned away too. Cleared down the ice, it bounces up, and will get to the blue line. Gustav Forsling will send it up for the near side of the ice. A foot race for the puck. Boquist ties up his man as it comes to the side of the cage. It'll be picked up by Yanni Gourde as he skates away from trouble. Runs into a Panther as Stanley C. Panther is banging a drum, trying to get these Panthers fans fired up. So where's Victor E. Rat all of a sudden? Gonzalez gets it out. Gustav Forsling gets this one down deep and through the near side of the ice. Cut off by Vasilevsky. Plays this over to the near side by Perbix. And it's cleared out to center. Corralled down by Reinhart. Bounces up the far side of the wall. And rink wide. This will be cut off. 2-on-2 back the other way. Gage Gonzalez around in front. Gets a look for the hat trick. Could not deflect it home though. Nico Mikko leads the way for the far side as Ryan McDonough chops it forward. Gensel will try again. Another opportunity. Trying to cut to the net. He'll wait for options. Drops it backwards. There was a stick in the lane. Gensel once again tied up. He and Jones go down. And there's no arm up in the air. And through the far side, Verhaeghe fired this one in. Staying 5-on-5. Sasha Barkov gets bodied by Eric Chernak and the Lightning reset. They got numbers as Braden Point moves it around. Sergei Bobrovsky plays it into danger. But it goes out to center and all the way to the Tampa zone. Victor Hedman up the middle. This will be Connor Geekie through the near corner. Geekie gets tied up. All sorts of Panthers there as Aaron Ekblad will restart. Moving it up for the ice to get settled down. Whistle on the play. With 9:28 to go. Lightning up 3-1 here. Game 3 at the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Jake Gensel has 2 of the 3 Lightning goals. We'll return in a moment. top line of the Lightning having their best showing here so far in the series. They need their top players to score, and their top players are scoring. It is Jake Guentzel with 2 of the goals for the Bolts. Out the 3 that have been scored. He has 3 of the 5 Lightning goals in this series. Low scoring game. And up for the right side is Mitchell Chaffee. Around Nico Mikkola. Dmitry Kulikov picks it back up and went over Chaffee and out of play. He took a shot away from Tampa Bay. Sergei Bobrovsky, who's looked human this year, has looked human in this game. It was his defense that's bailing him out as Guentzel gets his helmet readjusted. The first goal went off his shin pad, and the second one went off of and the second goal went off his skate. The third one, he lost his stick in the process. Panthers win another faceoff. Mikkola braces himself for contact from Chaffee. Tkachuk tried to go after this puck as Chaffee tried to go after it. Girgensons can't scoop it up, and it's moved up the near side for Brad Marchand. Sam Bennett moves it to the near side, but it bounced off of a Lightning defender in front. Kept inside by Kulikov around the horn. It bounces to Chernak. Chernak at the near side. Bounced out all the way to the Panther zone. And starting up again is Nate Schmidt. Schmidt down the near side. Brad Marchand with it. Here's Schmidt one more time. Schmidt centering down around the horn. Up at the far side. Chaffee restarts with it. Gets dispossessed, but carrying out with this is Yanni Gourde. Gourde, forced behind the net, gets a bump from Bennett. Victor Hedman gets shoved towards the wall. Jason Dalvis relentlessly pursuing the puck. Up the middle, Sam Bennett. He avoids a stick lift from Gourde. His shot is blocked right in front of him. Comes to the swat. Bounces down to Verhaeghe. Carter Verhaeghe fires it wide. Vasilevsky will collect it as it went off the end boards. A good keep by Carter Verhaeghe, but he fired the one off the end boards. And Andrei Vasilevsky continues to maintain his cool in this game. And so far, so good. The Dallas Stars up 2-1 in their series on the Colorado Avalanche. Looking to take a 3-1 series lead. Lightning are looking to get back in this series. Wild are trying to go up 3-1 in their series. One-timer off the draw. Walked in front, and it will go to Nick Paul. And sticked away by Sam Reinhart as the Lightning re-enter. They're denied entry by Reinhart and Barkov. For the far side, Verhaeghe gets shoved down by McDonough. Sam Reinhart at the opposite corner. Wanted to get this one back, but he is held along the wall. That allows Paul to pick up the puck. McDonough through the far side. Kucherov trying to go down the distance, but cannot. The Panthers bring it back with Barkov. Drops it to Reinhart, the left circle. Pass went off a skate, and the Lightning will go back 1-on-1. Could be a 2-on-1 if they hurry up. And front, Nick Paul ring it off the pipe! Bobrovsky never got a piece of it, and it went off the pipe. Guentzel collects it at the offensive zone. Shallowed down by Mikkola. Kucherov also there. And through the far side, the Panthers will restart. Here they come. The 3-on-2 was shut off as Darren Radish sends it over to the near side boards. Bounced up and collected by Evan Rodriguez, with Guentzel tracking it back. Intercepted by Perbix at center ice, and he'll send this one around the horn. Rodriguez will start again. Kucherov there. So it's Braden Point as this gets sent down for the far side of the ice. Eetu Luostarinen will send this one down as Perbix is the first one to track this puck. Through the far corner, Sam Bennett on the hold. Now at the left circle, opening up is Nate Schmidt. Schmidt, that went off the side of the cage. Lilleberg was tied up. Perbix was not, and he tries to get this one out. Bounced up. Nico Sturm just kept it in. Evan Rodriguez sends one back. Seth Jones blasts one. And that stung one of the Bolts in front. Might have been Luke Glendening. Zemgus Girgensons rink wide for Emil Lilleberg as he tries to quit this one down again, but gets tied up again. Braden Point. Loose stick on the ice, that was Points. And he'll pick it back up. The Lightning tried to get down. All sorts of lumber on the ice. Everyone's pushing and shoving each other. Drop for Mackie Samoskevich. Samoskevich blocked by J.J. Moser. Jesper Boquist and Samoskevich chasing after the puck. Yanni Gourde out there as well. Bounces up, and the boats take it away. Sending this one onto their blue line, and they're looking to break out. Here comes another 2-on-1. Rink wide for Luke Glendening. He scores! The fourth line gets it done. Defense to offense. Luke Glendening makes it 4-1. Florida want to press a lot here. And Forsling jumps the rush, trying to break it up at center ice. That allows the Lightning to break free on a 2-on-1. And they made no mistake about it. Gage Gonzalez blows by Gustav Forsling, and the rest is history with Yanni Gourde. Sets up Glendening right in front. Gets it across in time past Aaron Ekblad, and Glendening roofs it over Bob's glove. It's a 3-goal lead. 6th career playoff goal for Luke Glendening as fans are starting to exit their seats. 4-1 Lightning here in Game 3 as this is iced. First game back for Aaron Ekblad, and he was all alone on an island into those goals. The third goal, he accidentally poked Bobrovsky's stick away. Get possession is the first order of business. And the Lightning do so, and they make no mistake. They shut down the Panthers' offensive attack. And the Panthers have pulled Sergei Bobrovsky. They're down by 3. Lightning win the faceoff, and it'll be sent around for the end boards. Yanni Gourde, Gage Gonzalez the assist on the Glendening goal. Vasilevsky, he's going to try for it, but it's gloved down. Qtrs is going to backhand one down. Oh my goodness. Imagine if we get an empty net goal by Vasilevsky in the playoffs. That would be outstanding. Take it away. The Lightning get blocked off, but they have all need to fire this one down. The late penalty, they'll score. Matthew Tkachuk hit Jake Guentzel at center ice. And they're not done here. Pushing and shoving as the officials need to break everyone up. This is getting ugly now. It is getting ugly. Right after the empty netter with 5 minutes to go. Sticks are out. And Tkachuk still wanting to push and shove. Looking to throw punches at Anthony Cirelli. But who could imagine? No Brandon Hagel for the Lightning. And they'll manage to get a win here on the road here. Game 3 at Amaret Bank Arena. Enemy territory, which has been loud. Of course, the series for a reason. He can come back with a 2-0 series deficit. Matthew Tkachuk has been ejected from the game. He's been assessed a 10-minute misconduct. The play is that Guentzel gets tied up, had the puck, and finds Anthony Cirelli. The hit was very late. Tkachuk tying the hit well after Guentzel got rid of the puck for Cirelli. Went to bang, bang, and Guentzel was down. It's a 5-minute penalty, which will be reviewed. But nonetheless, it's a 10-minute misconduct. Officials have had enough. Tkachuk missed the final 25 games of the regular season because of a groin injury they suffered in the round robin win for the United States over Canada in the Four Nations Faceoff. He played just 6.5 minutes in the championship game against Canada. Had just 1 shift in the third period, no shifts in overtime. They're going to review this in slow-mo, but it's Anthony Cirelli from Jake Guentzel to wrap this one up. But that was... It's a 5-minute penalty for interference on Matthew Tkachuk, and he has gone off to the dressing room. Remember, Brandon Hagel was assessed a 1-game suspension for interference on Aleksander Barkov for a high and dangerous hit towards the head area. And Barkov didn't have the puck. Guentzel got rid of the puck well after. Guentzel got rid of the puck well before Tkachuk hit him, and Anthony Cirelli got the empty netter. If we look back at Hagel's high hit, that was dangerous. It dazed Barkov. He wanted to go for this game. Suspended for 1 game by the Department of Player Safety for an extremely forceful body check to an unsuspecting opponent. It's his first career suspension in 411 career NHL games between regular season and postseason. Guentzel is okay. Barkov did not finish game 2. The Panthers played the final 11 and a half minutes without him. Barkov staying out there. He's looking to play for the pain, which he is. Tkachuk, 5 minutes for interference. Knocked him off the puck. In normal circumstances, if there were to be such a penalty. And now we have pushes shoving Mikkola and Cirelli. How much more are we going to see from this? Players are certainly not happy. Fans are certainly not happy. Coaches are certainly not happy. And Qtrs and Mikkola were both going at it. Mikkola went after Qtrs. Then Cirelli wanted to step in to say, hey, we don't need that. That almost was an eyebrow raiser. That could have been another penalty. But they have just let that go. The Lightning will stay on the power play for the remainder of this game. It is a 5-minute power play. A power play cannot end with a power play goal when it's 5 minutes. And through the far side, the Bolts are carrying this one through. Trying to get another one to put more insult, add more insult to injury. Jake Guentzel has 3 assists. Jake Guentzel has 3 points. He'll be sweeter with a hat trick. It'll be an empty net goal for Anthony Cirelli. That's Guentzel's 3rd point of this game. What a day he's had here over the Florida Beaches. Fight on one side of the Florida Beaches, but he knows a thing or two about being in enemy territory. He did have 4 goals in a postseason game against the Philadelphia Flyers while being a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Game 6 of the 2018 Eastern Conference quarterfinal, and Jesper Boquist was set up across. Boquist cross-ice pass that was blocked off. The Lightning will pick up shop, and here's another odd man rush. The Panthers get back to it. Here's the trailer, Victor Hedman, stopped by Bobrovsky. And the Panthers killing up more time. 2-on-2. As the Sam Miskevich, who cuts around through Yanni Gourde at the side of the cage. 3:40 to go. And I don't think the Lightning are focusing on getting another goal. Just looking to kill off the rest of this clock. One way or another, this game is basically sealed and over. But it was tight and uncomfortable for the Lightning. Quick shot, stopped by Vasilevsky. No rebound as it was swept away. And Connor Geekie. Rush chances going up plenty here in this 5-minute power play. That pass was missed on a swing and a miss. Go back onto the zone. This Lightning team going down 2-0. That happened in the 2022 Eastern Conference Final. They won 4 unanswered. Puck is out of play. Though they lost the last series in which they trailed 2-0. That was last year's Battle for it in the playoffs, in which it was a 5-game exit. If we look back at the other series in which John Cooper was down 2-0 in a postseason series. Can't remember that time around. It's a good game for Jake Guentzel and Nikita Kucherov. Winding down the final minutes of this third period. The last game was the first time since Game 7 of the 2018 Eastern Conference Final, in which the Lightning were shut out in a home playoff game. That was the Washington Capitals who blanked them in Game 7. Braden Holtby at net. Up around the boards, it'll be collected by Zemgus Girgensons. And once again, as I mentioned, the Lightning are not trying to score. They're just trying to run down the rest of this clock. That's why they're having their regular forwards out there on the ice, not attempting to score on this power play. Just trying to kill this one off. They have Luke Glendening and Zemgus Girgensons, JJ Moser out there on a man advantage. That's what you need to know here to come on to the final 2 minutes of this game that was officially over. Empty seats here in the final 2 minutes as Seth Jones tried to deliver this one up. Moser, stick exploded, but in all essence, it may not matter. Moser's without a stick, as it's exploded on the shot. Boquist sends it in deep. And Andrei Vasilevsky, what a game he had. He needs to have a bounce-back game after the Panthers, they found looks in Game 1. Game 2, he was sharper. The defense in front of him helped him out too in what has been a low-shooting event. But Game 3, that's his Andrei Vasilevsky game. Just one goal in a game in which the Panthers have fired at least 30 times. It's the first time either one of these two teams have fired at least 30 shots on them. And there's another save from Vasilevsky. That'll be making 32 on this game. Right around to the end boards and for the far side, the Lightning will take it up. 106 to go before the Lightning go within one game of tying this series. Collect it up, and the Panthers will send this one down. No plans to score here because this game is basically settled. Matthew Tkachuk scored the first goal. In every one of these three games, the Panthers have scored first. This is the first time in which the Lightning have found any sense of momentum. But as is noted, in Game 2 between the Hurricanes and Devils, on the Carolina Hurricanes broadcast, Trip Tracy noted that momentum doesn't exist within a series. Momentum exists within a game. The scores reset to 0-0 after each game, and that will be the same case in Game 4. And in Sunrise, Florida, the Lightning grabbed all sorts of momentum all throughout this game, coast to coast, and deliver a victory, a defensive victory, here at South Florida in front of the defending champs. Some words at the end of it, and that's it. The Tampa Bay Lightning are back in this series with a 5-1 win. The road team has won the first 3 games of this series, and Andrei Vasilevsky, a job well done on this win. The Bolts have found their game. It's 5-1. After Matthew Tkachuk scored the opening goal, Sam Bennett and Evan Rodriguez, Brayden Point from Jake Guentzel and Nikita Kucherov, Nick Paul from Gage Gonzalez and Ryan McDonough. In the second period, his points tied the game in the first period. Jake Guentzel, they're crediting the goal to Brayden Point in the first period, not Guentzel. So there's a scoring correction. Point from Guentzel and Kucherov. Or it maybe actually be Guentzel who gets the goal. We're not sure. Guentzel from Kucherov and McDonough. Luke Glendening from Yanni Gourde and Gage Gonzalez. And Anthony Cirelli wraps it up with an empty net goal. Guentzel the assist. And Matthew Tkachuk ejected from the game with a late hit on Jake Guentzel. Andrei Vasilevsky of a 33 save victory on the Florida Panthers for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's going to do it here. I'm Alec Nava saying so long from Sunrise, Florida. Good night, everyone. Or wherever you are, good night. Have a good day. See you guys later.